York Giant fans. Baddog.
Chris.
Long time no see, buddy.
Long time no see. Something happened today. Another quiet day in the land.
To be honest with you, Baddog, I was all over the internet today. I was on Google. I was on Giants. I was like, I got to make a video. I got to come up with a topic today. Not too much today. It's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, I was on AOL.com. I was on Yahoo Chat, whatever. I didn't see anybody. Anybody in the chat?
Let me check the chat.
I was going to say, anybody in the chat know anything that happened today?
We got Afghanistan in the chat, Jeremy in the chat, Peter Biscardi in the chat, Louis Breyer in the chat, Lorenzo Hernandez in the chat, Sean G in the chat, nice Giants fan in the chat, Anthony Schiafano in the chat, D-Block in the chat. What's going on there? Leo, man, what's going on there? Evan Spitzberg, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I heard something. I didn't get a chance to see the details. I heard something about Kadarius.
Yeah, I saw something about this guy, this Kansas City wide receiver, and I don't know. The guy blocked me on Twitter for some reason.
Yeah, that same guy sent me a DM. He said he said some mean stuff about me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's ironic that guy. I called him the Tin Man, and he ended up in Kansas City. I mean, how ironic is this? The Tin Man ends up in. I know they play in Missouri. But still, Kansas City for the Tin Man.
Yeah.
How about Kadarius Toney getting traded? How about Kadarius Toney no longer a New York Giant?
Hey, listen, I kind of thought this was. I'm going to say definitely going to happen, but just the feeling I got. We heard it before the start, and Bobby Skinner. I got to talk to him. Hopefully, I'll do a collaboration soon. But behind the scenes, he knew the guys in the media, and he told me, there was some behind the scenes stuff. If a deal was there, the Giants may look to do it, and that was before the year started. So I always knew in the back of my head that this could happen. So when it first happened, like everybody else, I was probably slightly startled, but then. After about 20 seconds, I was like, well, I kind of expected this. And for what they got for him, you couldn't really ask for much more. I know Giants fans made this guy out to be Odell Beckham, but he's got 400 career receiving yards.
Right. I see a guy in the chat. It was kind of Sean G said, that guy sounds like a real pain in the hamstring.
Oh, is my mic? Somebody said fix my mic. Maybe I got the bad mic.
You're good. No. It was breaking up a little bit.
Oh, it was breaking up
now. Yeah, it was. Okay. It's good now. I don't know.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, I'm with you. I saw it on Twitter probably about the same time you did. I was just actually getting on my lunch break. I was in the faculty room and I just go on Twitter and I'm like, what? Like, I didn't think it was real when I first saw it. And that's why when I retweeted, I'm like, what? But I'm like, but that guy's legitimate. And then I saw it everywhere and I'm like, they really traded Kadarius Toney. Like you said, I didn't know when they were going to. I felt like they were going to do it. But you and I were like, well, it'd be surprising. We haven't really got to see what he does. Do you really want to give up on him so early? But, listen, we talked about it before the draft. There was rumors that they were looking to trade him, and they ended up being nothing. But then we drafted Wan'Dale Robinson, and everybody's like, why are we drafting a guy that's just like Kadarius Toney? We already got that guy, and nothing came of it. But, as we said in the previous stream with Pat there, I think when they saw Wan'Dale could produce the way he has, they're like, okay, we're just going to take what we can get. We're not building with this guy.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you where it started, Baddog, and we said it on the last show. It started in training camp. It started in voluntary minicamp, and I didn't kill him, but I thought it was a little weird that he didn't show up to
He's weird, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that he didn't show up to voluntary camp. And of course, you get all the Toney defenders that love this guy. And listen, I didn't kill him for it. I didn't go out of my way to destroy him for it. But he didn't show up for voluntary camp. I understand. I fully recognize what the word voluntary means. I have a Webster's dictionary if I got to look it up. I know what it means. But in the first year with a brand new head coach, brand new offensive scheme, second-year player who's done nothing in the NFL, and you want to try to set the right, you want to try to set the right example early on in your career. Right. You want to try to impress this GM, try to impress this head coach, try to get on a good rapport with Daniel Jones, who's doing his best to learn this new offense, and he didn't show up. And you look at what Brian Dable's all about. Brian Dable is about putting the hardest working guys out on the football field week to week. There's been a lot of moves he's made that has initially surprised us, the way that he's handled Kenny Golladay, things like that. There is no doubt in my mind that played a factor in this.
Yeah.
Him not setting the right example early on.
And for all you guys and girls in the chat, you guys and girls like me and Chris that are, 7 to 4, 9 to 5 working guys, and say you get a new boss and your boss says, hey, it's not mandatory, but I want to get all the employees together. I want to have a meeting and I want to talk about, the direction I want to take the company. Are you going to sit there and go, it's voluntary, I ain't going? Because even though you're not, mandated to be there, it gets you off on the wrong foot immediately, because your boss is going to sit there and go, this guy doesn't care. Everybody else and your coworkers are going to go, well, he's not here. I mean, I'm here. I care. Yeah. Why is he not here? Does he not care? Is he better than everybody else? You just decide he's going to skip out on it without a real legitimate excuse. So I did. I thought that set a bad tone immediately. Daboll's probably thinking the guy doesn't care about as much as at football as the other guys that are here care about it. And I'm here to win football games. I don't care where you were drafted. I want guys that want to win. I want guys that want to play. And obviously that got him off on the wrong foot. So again, I don't think it's surprising, but it's always a shock when you see something like that happen, because this isn't like we traded Richie James or, a third string lineman. This was Kadarius Toney. So
it was a first round pick last year.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is what it is. Let's get to a few of these. Thank you guys. He goes, Big Daddy. First one of the night. He says, Tony's gone. Yay. Dropped from my draft list. There you go. I'm sure a lot of Giants fans were happy that he was going. Horny Tainah, best name on YouTube. And best thumbnail, perhaps. He says, I know Daniel Jones got traded. No, that would have been a huge deal. That happened.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Not in season, at least. That's not happening.
That's not happening. Jotted on. Thank you, my friend. He says,
stand up.
And good riddance. Good riddance to some extremely bad rubbish. Chef Oz, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you.
What's up, Chef? How you doing, buddy?
He says, remember when Dave's played Tony's music in the locker room? We tried Andrew Thomas, blocked me last year for DMing him. We're counting on you. Did Andrew Thomas block you? I didn't even know Andrew Thomas is on. He is on Twitter. That's right. He is on Twitter.
I can't imagine Andrew Thomas blocking anyone. He seems like the nicest guy in the world. But maybe he did. I don't know. But maybe he's probably talking about Tony.
No, I thought he said we tried. Andrew Thomas blocked me last year for DMing him. We're counting on you.
Remember they played Tony's music in the locker room. We tried Andrew. Maybe. I could see Tony blocking people. He blocked you.
He blocked me. That's what it is. It's okay. That's all right. V-Man, thank you for the super chat. He says, Baddog, breaking news, strange noises can be heard in the graves of former Yankee owners Jacob Rupert, Dan Topping, Del Webb, and George Steinbrenner. The sound was described by groundskeepers as rolling. Yeah, they're rolling in their graves because obviously Aaron Boone's coming back, and I haven't heard anything about.
You know what? I don't know. When I lag, I see people saying I'm lagging in the chat. Is it just the video or is it the audio? Because if it's just the video, I'll take the camera off.
Yeah, it's kind of both.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's doing this.
Didn't do it in the last one. So
it didn't do it in my last 2 live streams.
Yeah, StreamYard's weird. I don't know. Now it's good. I don't know.
Okay.
Luis, thank you, my friend. He says, taking my girlfriend to Seattle to watch Giants at Lumen Field. Question. Some teams have catchphrases like fins up, let's ride. I think you know the answer to that, Luis. Chris has it. Come on, baby.
Take my girlfriend to Seattle to watch the New York Giants at Lumen Field. Question some team. By the way, I'll switch to my phone if I have to, guys. So if it keeps lagging, my phone's not charged right now. I'll go upstairs, get the charger, and pop out for 5 minutes, and then I'll just join it on my phone. You'll just see the green wall. But let me just read that super chat real quick. Taking my girlfriend to Seattle to watch the New York Giants at Lumen Field. Question. Some teams have catchphrases like fins up, let's ride. What's it? Stand up, like Baddog said.
Of course. Stand up. And that's what Asia said. Stand up, my sexy Tainah.
Let's go. Stand up.
Cowboy MLB, thank you, my friend. Hopefully this means they'll trade for wide receiver. So I wanted to talk about that. Obviously, we were already thin there at wide receiver, and now we decided to move on from our number 1 draft pick of a year ago. What does this mean for the Giants? They accrued a couple of draft picks, a 3rd-round compensatory pick and a 6th-round pick. Obviously, they have a little bit more draft capital to play with now. We discussed a couple of people last week, and I think it's making more and more sense. That it doesn't mean they're going to get them, but a guy like Jerry Jeudy seems to be the name on everybody, the edge of everybody's tongue, whatever, in their mouth, whatever, however the hell you want to say it, in your head. Is there any way possible we get a guy like Jerry Jeudy?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously the name that everybody's going to bring up because of his attachments to Dable. The fact that right now you figure that Denver could be in sell mode with the start that they're off to. He's young. He fits our salary cap needs, right? Because he doesn't make a whole lot of money. So he makes sense, right? From that fit. I know some Giants fans seem to be completely off the Jeudy. I know he's had a lot of drops. But receivers have struggled in other places before, and then they get put in the right spot, and you get the potential out of them that you once thought. The thing with Jeudy is, what's the price going to be? Because I know a lot of Giants fans don't want to be giving up a 2nd-round pick. It's probably going to cost that. I mean, Kadarius Toney got a 3rd. So you got to figure Judy's got a higher market than Kadarius Toney. So, it's probably going to cost a decent amount at least. And it seems like from what you read that there's a pretty big market for Jeudy. It seems you would think would only drive the price up higher. So I think it's going to come down to the cost in terms of, the draft compensation that you got to give up for these receivers. But I would think his price would be somewhat high.
A 2nd-round pick, I don't think I can do it because I feel like you can get somebody just as good at that point. I'd rather just go that route than give up. Because again, Shane said it when he came out, we're going to try to win games, but make no mistake about it, this is a rebuild. And while we're 6-1 and it ain't looking like a rebuild, there's still a lot of holes we need to fill. We need linebackers, cornerbacks, wide receivers, got to build the interior offensive line. So we still got a lot of things to do. And that's why I love Coach Dable. He's not satisfied being 6-1. He's like, I'm never really happy. That's a winning mentality. As soon as you settle, you're going to start losing out on things. As long as you continue to set goals and have something to strive for, you're going to continue to be better. You're going to continue to have that edge. I like his mentality about that. So, we'll see what they do. But if somebody would have told me at the beginning of the year we'd be buyers at this point, I would have said you're absolutely insane. So we'll see. We got a couple days and we'll see how it goes. Heathen, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Did you guys see Tony's tweet about faking injury? I think everybody saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. And Heathen, I honestly believe, because I think it came out, and not to like brag or anything, but it came out like right after I tweeted my thing out. And I think he was talking to me when he sent that out. I really do. When he said jokes on whatever it was, because my tweet was about the injury, even though I wasn't even poking fun at him. I was just stating a fact. But obviously he took offense to that when he messaged.
He takes offense to everything. He takes offense to his shadow. It's okay.
But yeah, we saw it. We saw it when he said the joke's on you or whatever he said. I wasn't really hurt, or I'm paraphrasing a bit, but that's basically what he said. And then he deleted it. Not the best of looks for Kadarius Toney. Not the best of looks.
No. And Kadarius Toney clapping back at the fan base is not the best looks either. I mean, for him to legitimately get, like I said, there was a guy that DM'd me, and there's like an entire conversation of Kadarius Toney just, using a bunch of swear words at him and everything else. And all the guy said is stop crying about Giants fans and go play in Kansas City or whatever. And then Kadarius Toney, he's just whatever. And I don't know, man. It's just he couldn't handle New York. But I'm telling you right now, it's not like Chiefs fans. It's not New York, but Chiefs fans love their football. They're very passionate. It's one of the best venues in the NFL. And if you do that crap to them, they're not going to be happy either. I don't care what fan base you are. You don't get on the field and you clap back at the fans who are like, hey, man, when you playing and it's really a harmless comment, and then he goes off on you, you're going to be like, screw this guy. Who the hell does he think he is? So I don't know. Sticky Fingertips, thank you, man. He says, Galladay sounded like he had some fire in him in his interview after the Toney trade. Am I an ignorant fool for feeling excited for him? No. I tweeted it out. Initially, like I said, my first tweet when this first happened was Kenny Galladay, pack your bags. Because I'm like, you're next. And I'm not saying that was going to happen before the trade deadline, but I meant you're not going to be here next year. And he still may not be. But then I saw his interview and said, you know what? Maybe that's an aha moment for Kenny Galladay. Like, I got to bust my ass. I got to work harder. I got to do everything I can to help this team win. I've never been part of a 10-win team. I got to get healthy and I got to produce. Because if they're willing to get rid of Kadarius Toney, I'm not going to be a future here. Maybe he won't be, like I said, maybe he won't be anyway. But I'm sure he wants to put his best foot forward so that they do give the Giants a reason to keep him. So, no, I'm also excited to see what he can do when he gets back because I think you're going to see a change Kenny Galladay. At least I'm hopeful of that.
Yeah, I actually retweeted that too. I saw that. I didn't comment on it, but I retweeted it. I saw the video of Kenny Galladay rather talking in the locker room. And yeah, it's encouraging. Listen, at the end of the day, it's a horrible contract. It's one of the worst contracts in football over the last 4 or 5 years, but that doesn't mean that he can't help us over the last 10 games. We know that we need help at that position, and it's good to hear that. It was encouraging. That's what you want to hear. And hopefully he gets back healthy, and hopefully he does make an impact. We certainly could use it. We need help there at the wide receiver spot. So it'd be nice to get him on the field and maybe make some plays here for this offense. So it'd be good to get him back out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. JC, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. He says, any concern about Warner being so down on DJ?
No, I don't. It doesn't bother me. And to be honest with you, JC, to be fair, I watched that. Somebody told me to watch. I forgot who it was, but somebody added me on Twitter and told me to watch Kurt Warner's take. Kurt Warner didn't really say anything that bad about Daniel Jones. All he really said was, and I think it's a fair opinion, he doesn't know yet if he's a quarterback that can throw 40 times and win football games, which I think is a fair opinion to have. You don't know it yet. But I think he could develop into that. But I don't think he said anything that bad. He was actually pretty complimentary about, I thought at least, about Daniel Jones for the majority of what he said. Now, that was really the only semi-negative thing he said. I don't think he said anything that bad in that interview.
This is the way I look at it, JC. I was down on Daniel Jones. A lot of people were down on Daniel Jones. It doesn't matter what I think or Kurt Warner thinks or anybody else thinks. What matters is what Daniel Jones thinks about himself, what his coach thinks about him, what the teammates think about him. So Kurt Warner could have said, like Dan Orlovsky, for instance, he hates Daniel Jones, right? I don't care about his take either. As long as those guys in that locker room believe in number 8, that's really all that matters at the end of the day. So I wouldn't be concerned about what any analyst thinks of Daniel Jones. At the end of the day, it's just their opinion. And, they're not playing the game. They're not playing with him. So they really don't have any effect on his performance. So, again,
my issue with Orlovsky was there was no context.
Well, I know. Orlovsky.
At least with Warner, there was I'm like, okay, I could respect that opinion. With Orlovsky, there was no context. He threw out.
I said, like when I tweeted, when I responded to you, and I said, how would you know what a good quarterback? When he says not what a good quarterback's supposed to do, I'm like, he wouldn't know. Guy was never a good quarterback.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. But some guys just they are what they are. I mean, I can't tell you how many damn times Jeffrey Abbey continues to put bum boy number 8 in my chat, and I'm like, bro, it gets annoying after a while. Like, say something else. You don't like him, okay? It's all good, but. You keep saying the same thing, no matter the results. It gets a little tiring after a while. It really does. Kobe, thank you, my friend. I have Toney jersey. What should I do? eBay.
Trade it.
Trade it. Send it to Kansas City.
Trade it to the Chiefs and go and ask to get Travis Kelce back and bring him to the Giants. But trade.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Or McCole Hartman. Can we get McCole Hartman over here?
That'd be nice.
I'll take him. Why not? That'd be good. Ant, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Says, can we get a boom for the exit of the Tin Man? Yeah, like I said, I think it's funny that I called him the Tin Man and he ended up in Kansas City. I just think that's hilarious to me. Well, I don't think a lot of Giants fans are upset about this. And, Chris, credit to Chris. People asked him at the beginning of the year, you guys asked us who's the most overrated Giant. He said Kadarius Toney. And
a lot of people yelled at me for that.
Yeah, but you were right.
I get it though. He's one of the most loved players on the team. So I get it. Like he's popular, wide receiver.
He's exciting, he's flashy. I mean, yeah, he's gonna draw attention to himself. But the dude never got on the field. So it doesn't matter what kind of talent level, your talent doesn't shine sitting on the sideline every week.
Yeah.
Especially if you're feigning injury.
And by the way, I think Tony's going to do very well in Kansas City.
I'm sure if he can.
But I think I could do very well in Kansas City. So it's not obviously. I don't think I could do well, but he's in a really good situation to be successful if he can stay on the field. If he can
stay on the field, he's all set. He's all set. Especially with that offense. I agree. Yes. I agree. KN, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. We're 7-1. Well, we're 6-1. Because of the tough, dependable guys we have. But yes, hopefully we're 7-1 at the end of this week, KN. We're 6-1 because they believe in each other. They fight hard every week. They never quit. And they just find a way. They execute when they need to execute most.
And we got great coaches.
Great coaches. And these players execute the game plan to the fullest.
I did a
When
video
I,
today, Bad Dog, and I'll just throw out a couple of stats that I did. I didn't upload it because Tony got um Tony
yeah, you
got
said you had a video. I saw on Twitter. You said you had a video on Dable, but
on
obviously it
Dable,
was
and I was looking at some of the stats in terms of like the first half, second half, and I mentioned in the video, but the Giants in the first half this year are averaging 7.6 points in the first half, and they averaged, and I think they scored more than that the last 2 weeks. So it was actually lower than that before the last 2 weeks. And they're averaging 13.9 points in the second half. And to me, that speaks to coaching. That speaks to adjustments. They're averaging more than a touchdown more in the second half than they are in the first. And the same thing on the defensive side. They're 15th in points against in the first half. They're 7th in points against in the second half. So
right.
that speaks to coaching. That speaks to them making adjustments and improving along the way.
And another stat that you could add to that, I don't know if it was in there, is the fourth quarter point differential. You look at our fourth quarter point differential, we're like plus 33 or plus 36 and something, where we've outscored our opponents a lot in the fourth quarter. And again, that speaks to wearing down your opponent and executing in crunch time, which has been huge. It's the way we've won these games. And I expect nothing less in Seattle, So we'll see. I expect the Giants to win another hard-fought, close game. Richard, thank you, my friend. Giants need a wide receiver to hope make Geno cry. No one picks us. No, nobody's going to pick the Giants, Richard.
What, this week, you mean?
It's just the way we like it.
Yeah, I like being the underdog. I think we're 3-point underdogs or 2.5-point underdogs or whatever we are. So let them keep picking against us. We like that. We like being overlooked.
I think the Giants like it too, because again, that way they can't believe their own hype. They have a little chip on their shoulder. No one's respecting us.
I did a video on this a couple of days ago. What some of the players have had to say about being doubted, and Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, my God,
he said "F you."
He said "F you" multiple times, basically to all the doubters out there. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So did McKinney. Sounded pissed off too. So I loved it. I love the attitude that these players are bringing right now.
Like I said, give them more motivation. Put that chip on their shoulder, make them play harder, because that's what happens. When you're a professional athlete and somebody doubts you, you want nothing more than to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
Nick, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Did you see the video of Tony in a jumpsuit on the sideline when the tackle was made towards him? He leaped 5 feet over the play. What hammy? I did not see that, but supposedly Kadarius Toney was healthy. And
my guess is he was probably a little dinged up, but he was healthy. If they wanted to play him, they probably could have. But they probably didn't want to hurt his trade value, because if the league knows that he's not on the PUP or the IR, and you're deciding to start Richie James over him, that's only going to hurt his trade value. So I really believe the Giants and Tony may have had some kind of discussion at some point and said, listen, we're going to get you out of here. We're going to trade you. Don't do anything silly. It's only going to hurt your trade value, and we're going to get you out of here when you can, because that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
He won't be missed.
Yeah.
Not a part of what they're doing here. These guys, like I said, it's not about them. Everybody, these guys are not a bunch of individuals on the field or in the locker room. They're a team. And, when you got a guy that's not showing up the voluntary camp, or he's got problems with his shoes, or he's got COVID or this, his hamstring, his knee, his neck, whatever it is, and he's not showing up, or he's like Patricia was saying, he's not going to, if this is the case, he's not working out with the guys, or he's not watching film, whatever. If he's not doing something that he should be doing that we're not seeing, it's a bad look for the players that are. And then all of a sudden resentment starts, and that's how you lose your locker room. And it only could take one player to really put a rift into that, or for him to influence another player. And then you got whatever. So I always say winning builds culture. You start winning games, man. The culture of the locker room, these guys get tighter. They like winning. They start playing for one another. They start believing in one another. It makes a big difference. So losing a guy like Kadarius Toney, as talented as he is, he has as many receiving yards as Chris and I did, and everybody in this chat through the first 7 games of the season. So we're 6-1 without him. There's no reason to think that we can't continue to win without him. So,
John May says bad character guys win Super Bowls too, though. They do, but when you're trying to instill a new culture, and listen, they don't feel he fits this team. I'm going to let these guys build the team the way they see fit, but when you're trying to instill a new culture, and we don't know, it may not have been character. We don't know. It may have been that Tony wasn't happy here. It may have been that the Giants didn't identify him as a player they wanted to build with based off his skill set. Like, we're speculating, we're assuming. We don't know what the whole reason was, but regardless, he's not here. I would lean towards it could have been character, but that's just me speculating. I don't know that for a fact. Yeah. Regardless, we know they didn't want him here, and he's not.
Exactly. And again, we were able to win without him. And I really do feel like when Wan'Dale Robinson got healthy and he started producing, they said, okay, well, we've got his replacement. Now let's get what we can for this guy because we're not moving forward with him. And again, I think him not showing up for voluntary camp was like, it's almost disrespectful to the head coach. And he's like, you know what? I'm right away. You're in the doghouse right away.
This is a guy that decided to start Sills over Galladay, who's making $18 million a year. Like this is clearly a head coach that prioritizes work on the practice field, guys that are working their asses off. It only makes sense now after the fact, after we've seen a training camp with Brian Dable and seeing some of the decision-making that he did, right? A lot of Giants fans are like, how is O'Shane Ximines making the team? Because he practiced hard. He worked hard. Mm-hmm. That's why he made the team. That's why Quincy Roche initially did not. The same thing with Sills. Same thing with would have been Colin Johnson. So I think it just makes perfect sense. You don't show up for voluntary camp for a coach like Dable. I don't care you were drafted in the first round. That means nothing to me. I didn't draft you.
Right. He didn't draft him. That's exactly it. So, yeah. And I think that Toney and Galladay were guys he was talking about when he said, I don't care. The guys that work the hardest for me are the ones that are getting on the field. You're going to earn your place in the field. I think that's who he was talking about. And Galladay's hurt now, but Toney only earned 7 snaps week 1 when he was healthy. So obviously he was never a major part of what they wanted to do going forward. And it doesn't mean that he's not going to be great in Kansas City. Very well could be. And then people go, oh, God, the Giants let him get away. He may be great in Kansas City, but it doesn't mean he was ever going to be anything here. It doesn't mean ever done here what he's doing in Kansas City. It's a completely different system. It's a completely different quarterback. Everything's different opponents. So
I think he'll be successful there if he stays on the field. I see the Texas Liberty saying he invested in his rookie cards. This might have worked out for you.
Right.
He might take off in Kansas City with Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. Daniel Jones is going to win us the Super Bowl, one of the best names on YouTube, and I hope it's true. My Uncle Marty really wants the Giants to sign Odell Beckham. Not happening. Too much money, and we don't have money for him. Not this year.
You never know, but I doubt it. I'm not predicting it, but you never know. It could happen.
I don't think it happens this year, though.
I don't know.
I do think he's a Giant when he retires, though. I do think.
Yeah. Could happen.
That I do think. Brady's going deep.
Oh, I forgot there's a game on tonight.
Wow. That was a nice catch. 17-10 Baltimore in the 4th. Chris, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it very much. He says the Tin Man has more rap albums than NFL touchdowns, and they're probably as bad as his NFL career has been. Probably. He's not a good rapper.
I haven't listened to his rap. I've heard conflicting reports on it. I haven't listened to it. Oh, you have listened to it?
I listened to some, but I'm like, yeah, whatever.
That's right. You like rap.
I love not today's rap, but 90s rap is, yes.
But absolutely. That's a different element.
Gigantic hip hop guy from the 90s, but no. It's like I said in my video today, you're not AZ, you're not Jay-Z, you're not Eric Sermon, you're not Rakim, you're not anybody from Wu-Tang, you're not Nas, you're not Biggie, you're not Tupac, you're not Dre, you're not Snoop, you're none of those guys. You're not EPMD, you're not Public Enemy, so just whatever, let it go. You're not Tribe Called Quest, you're not Cypress Hill, let it go.
DQ says, Chris, what are you going to do if you dish you in a song? I would die of laughter that I'm that much in that guy's head.
That'd be awesome.
I'm gonna show the chat this tweet, and you tell me if you think that this was harsh. And I want your honest opinion. When I saw him message me after this tweet, I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" I'll show it, but and this was, and again, I would never release this if the New York Giants didn't trade him. That's why I didn't. Trying to find out. It's right here. I know it's one of my more recent tweets. Where is it?
Oh, he's looking for that. You guys hit that thumbs up. We got 800 in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, guys and girls. But bang the hell out of that like button. Let's go. Let's get 300 likes, 400 likes. Come on, man. Kadarius Toney ain't here. We're 6-1. Looking to be 7-1 on Sunday. Giants football's back, baby. Let's go.
Here, I got it. And it's right there. So this was the tweet. Kadarius Toney injuries go together like peanut butter and jelly. This dates back to college. I'm rooting for the guy and think he can make an impact when on the field. But this guy needs to find a way to stay on it. That's all I said. I didn't call him soft. I didn't say any derogatory terms about him. I just stated a fact. It's like stating that the sky is blue. It's like stating that the grass is green. You're a guy that has had injury trouble in college. You're a guy that so far has had injury trouble in the pros. And then he felt the need to message me, Cap, dummy, go find something safe to do. And I just thought it was hysterical. Did I not share it, by the way?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh,
here,
well,
I'm sorry, Chris. Here, let me put it up here.
There
I
it is.
didn't know I had to do it. There you go.
Okay. So it's right there. Yeah. So, hold on. Yeah, right here, this one. But I was like, that was the tweet. And I'm like, and then you always get the fans that Baddog that say, oh, you couldn't play football. I'm not claiming I could play football.
I say that all the time.
I'm not claiming I'm a tough guy.
Right, but that's what I say. I'm like, is that really helping the guy's argument that he's better than me? Is that your comparison? That's how you defend him. Well, he's better than a 46-year-old YouTube video maker. Well, I would hope he is. But I don't think that's really complimenting him.
And the only reason I released that is to try to make people feel better about the trade. Because in my mind, if you're that soft that you feel the need to private message a nobody that you're offended by that tweet, you're not going to make it in New York.
Why?
You're just not.
The media is going to be way harsh.
The media is ferocious. And personally, you should probably be happy that he's gone. If he's that bent out of shape out of something like that.
I agree. Isaac, thank you, my friend. Appreciate a hot take. I don't think we need a receiver this year with our run game and the play action we run off of it. We can still win games with Wandale and Slate. And hopefully Kenny Galladay. I mean, we haven't, but it would be nice to add another receiver. It definitely would. I agree. We've been winning with these guys, and there's no reason to think that we can't keep winning, especially the next 3 games against Seattle, Houston, and Detroit. But how nice would it be to have a Claypool or a Jerry Jeudy going against all those division rivals? I mean, that's why I think we're going to need that bigger play guy, and we'll see if it happens. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Fabian, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. He says, perfect for him. He'll be making TikToks with Jackson.
Hey, best of luck to him.
He hasn't blocked me on Instagram. I know that. Not that I follow him on Instagram. And I'm not, listen, that was the whole thing about him blocking me. It's not like I went to his page and was trolling him. Or like I added him in a tweet that I'm like, hey, look at this.
Yeah, I didn't add him in my
tweet. I did that to him. I'm not that guy. I wouldn't go to a TikTok, go, oh, you suck, you're losing. Like, I'm not going to do that to him. I don't care. He's not a Giant. Whatever. Best of luck in Kansas City. They got really good barbecue. So eat you some ribs and some barbecue chicken, which is my favorite, personally. Ronald, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Tony's going to go for 1,000 yards in 9 games, and I don't care. Galladay is still a Giant as long as he's in blue. I'm rooting for his useless ass. Hey, root for the blue.
Yeah.
You root for the blue. Chris, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. He says, congrats on being good, guys. Can't wait to see what happens. I feel like Dallas is going to make a trade for a wide receiver. NFC beast to the East. Hashtag we them boys.
We appreciate it, Chris.
It's fun.
And I don't know what your cap situation is like, but it's got to be better than ours. So, and they could certainly use a wide receiver. So I could see it, Chris. You guys have done it in the past with Amari Cooper, obviously.
Yeah, they let Amari Cooper walk, and now they're going to go after somebody else, I guess. But, yeah, I mean,
I did my power rankings for the first time ever on my channel this week. 3 out of the 5 teams were in the NFC East. That's insane.
They're good.
3 out of the top 5 teams.
Even
Eagles,
Washington.
Cowboys, and Giants.
Even Washington is getting it together a little bit. They won a couple in a row.
They're 3 and 4. Yeah, they're one of the best last place teams in football right now.
It's fun with it. Like I said, I hate the teams in the division, but damn, it's fun when we're good. It's a lot more intense. It's already intense anyway, but it's way more intense.
Our combined record is what? 21 and 7. The division 21 and 7
of our games.
That's crazy.
And of course, we played a couple against each other. Like we lost to Dallas. That was our only loss.
Cowboys lost to the Eagles.
That was one of their only losses. So yeah.
Washington probably lost a game in the division.
Yeah, they lost to Philly.
So that's 3 out of the 7 losses came in division.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Ryan, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. The Home Alone thumbnail.
What's up, Ryan, man? Good to see you, buddy.
Yep. He says, Shane traded Toney because he is not smart, tough, or dependable. He's literally the opposite of all those things. Tough or dependable, I'll definitely give him. From what I understand, he is a smart guy. He may not come off like that, but from what I've heard, and again, who the hell am I? I just go by what I hear. It's not like he's dumb. It sounded like they said he picks everything up and he was a good learner. But I think the dependable thing is what got him out of here. And I'm not just talking about injuries. I'm talking about, again, not showing up at voluntary camp and maybe just not doing what you're asked to do. I think the dependability issue is definitely his biggest character flaw.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know. I know nothing about the guy's character. All I can tell you is the guy had injury problems, and I'm not blaming him for that, but he couldn't stay on the field. That's my only critique, and I'm not. It's the same thing with Barkley. It wasn't like I was critiquing Barkley. I love Barkley, but you got to be able to stay on the field. That's all, and he wasn't able to do it. So up to this point in his career,
I agree. Stormtrooper, thank you, my friend. He says, F Tony, karma's a B. Hashtag snake. I said that. Karma's something else.
Yeah.
I don't know why you had to clap back at all Giants. I mean, you're not in New York anymore, so just let it lie, man. Move on. You know,
whatever.
Move on. No need to hold grudges, man. Your whole future's ahead of you. You're in your second year. Did it work here?
Floyd says, Chris, go play something safe, dude.
Yeah, this is safe. You can't get hurt doing this. You can't get hurt.
I love people like DQ in the chat. Chris, what you going to do if you see him? You going to handle your business or what? Yeah, because I'm gonna throw fists with Kadarius Toney. Okay. Like, I give a crap, dude.
Right. The odds of you running into Kadarius Toney are
just because I say that the guy's got an injury problem in terms of being able to stay healthy doesn't mean I'm calling the guy soft. I could never do what he does.
Right.
Never pretend to be a guy that could do what he does. But that doesn't mean I can't, as a fan, I can't watch the game to be like, the guy has trouble staying on the field. He had trouble staying on the field in college. This is a concern.
Yeah.
That's it.
It is.
I don't understand why people take such offense for these players and they stick up for these players.
Like, I've said the same thing. I'm like,
I don't understand it.
I've said the same thing. I'm like, I'm sitting there going, why do you get mad at me and insult me personally because of my opinion on a player? I say the same thing. I'm like, why does that bother you so much?
And KG says I called him soft. No, I called him mentally soft. And I showed the evidence as to why I called him that. Not physically soft, mentally soft. There's a big difference between being mentally soft and physically soft.
Yeah.
And I do think he's mentally soft, by the way.
Yeah, you can't get in a war with the fans. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna work. Thomas, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Congratulations, guys. Both of you have the same amount of touchdowns as the first round pick in 2021 draft. Yes, we do. And everybody in the chat. And we also have the same amount of receiving yards because you had 2 catches for no yards. Remember last year through the first 2 games, I think we all had more because he had like -2 or something.
Yeah.
It was insane. Yeah. Sticky Fingertips, thank you. Appreciate it. Says, bum that couldn't donate to Trainer. She's a unique blend of boots on the ground writer, journalist with sources and podcast commentary. Thank you for boosting her.
She's awesome.
Hey, she's awesome. Like I said, I was honored when she asked me to, join her and Chris for that show. And I love doing that. It's a lot of fun. We get a lot of insight from her that we wouldn't normally get. So she knows her stuff. She's covered.
Yeah, she reached out to me. I don't know how long. I've been doing it with her for a bit now, but she reached out to me a while ago and asked me to come on, and we had a good time. She's like, "You're really knowledgeable. I want you to keep doing this with me." Kept doing it, and then eventually people in the chat wanted Baddog. She brought on Baddog, and she's awesome. She's really cool. She's knowledgeable, and she's just fun to talk football with.
Yeah. She knows her stuff. She's really nice too. She's very, very different than what you would think from like the New York media type.
Yeah.
Complete opposite. Tyler, welcome back to the Dog Pound, my friend. Thank you very much. Tyler Moore-Lang, Dog Pound members. Welcome Tyler back into the Dog Pound. Appreciate it, my friend.
What's up, Tyler?
Thank you for rejoining. Bobby! By the way, you ever see Bobby Woodruff anymore?
No, I don't think I have. No, I see him every once in a blue, but not like we used to.
Mr. Softy might have got him finally. Bobby, thank you so much. He says, curious to know what the opinions are in New York, fellas. When's the last time New York football in general was this good? All 3 teams are on fire. When is the last time? Late 90s? We were
late 90s. The Jets they had Testaverde. Was that 98 was the year they went to the
we weren't any good in 98.
Yeah, we weren't very good in 98.
Were the Jets any good in
Buffalo? Our last Super Bowl, they were good.
90?
The year 2011. 2011. 2010, they made the AFC title game. In 2009, they also made the AFC title game.
What about the Bills?
Yeah, I don't know about the no, not the Bills.
Like,
The
I'm
Bills.
trying to think. In the middle 80s, the Jets and Giants are both really good, but the Bills
Yeah.
weren't. The Bills were terrible. Then the Bills got good in the early 90s. We were good in 1990. The Bills were good like late 80s, early 90s. We were good. I don't know about the Jets, though.
Yeah, this might be the only time all three. I wasn't even thinking about the Bills when I was thinking about it, but yeah, this might be the only time all three teams were good at the same time. I think it is.
Richard, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Giants be off next week. Oh, on Fox or NBC? They're on Fox, Richard. 4:25 on Fox next week.
Oh, okay.
4:25. That's when they play against Seattle. Week after that, we're off. November 6th, we have a week off. And then we come back home, we play Detroit. We play Houston and then Detroit. So it's good, man. We need that week off. Eli, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. He says, Tainah, we could definitely put you at defensive back.
I'm not as fast as I used to be, so I don't think so, Eli.
None of us are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But
This is right.
From what he's been able to get out of Fabian Moreau and something, maybe I can play DP for what the coaching staff's been able to get out of some of these guys, man.
Physically, I couldn't do it anymore.
No, I couldn't do it physically either. I'm kidding.
Leslie, he says Tony is a weird dude. That he is. Ray says he's mentally and physically soft. I don't. The funny thing is, he's like, "Oh, let's see you do it." And I want to say to him, but you don't do it. I can stand on the sideline in street clothes. I can definitely sit on the bench and look like a football player.
I'm not going to call him physically soft. Football's a tough game. Players get hurt. I do think he's maybe soft's not the right way mentally. He's not built for New York from a mental perspective. And a lot of players are not. That's why they don't sign here.
He's not built for social media.
Yeah. That's
something he should do, Chris. He should get the hell off social media. That'd be the best thing that guy could do. Get off social media. Just you can mess around with the rap all you want. Get the hell off social media. Stop worrying about what people are saying about you. It's not important.
Yeah.
It's not important what someone in the Twitter sphere thinks of you or on YouTube. Right? That doesn't matter. Play football. Play football. And hey, instead of clapping back at these people and getting pissed off at them, go out and prove them wrong. Yeah. That's all. Daniel Jones did it, right? How many people down on Daniel Jones? 90% of the fan base.
Look at Darius Slayton.
Right.
Look at Evan Ingram. As much as we don't like him, we talked about it in the last podcast. Those two guys they went out there and they continued to try to perform every Sunday. They took a lot of heat from the fan base.
They did.
Didn't hear any stories about them, in terms of handling things like this. So yeah, it's just not professional.
Yeah. Anthony Razza, thank you for the super chat. He says Tony wears a girdle and his menstrual cycle isn't Giants material. He's not anymore. He's not anymore. Maybe he does wear a girdle. Maybe that's how he pulled his hamstring. Maybe it was a little too tight and he hurt himself. I really don't know. I do know Tony looks very old for a guy that's like 22.
Does he?
Like he just looks older.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. I guess hamstrings will age you. I just think it's funny. I'll call him the Tin Man. It's because he had no heart, but I guess he's he's got no heart, but he also has rusty hamstrings. Somebody should have just gave him some oil. He would have been all set. He could have ran like the wind. HCR, thank you, my friend. He says, finally, this Kadarius Toney trade finally freed up Marcus Johnson. We are new wide receiver number 1. He delivers packages to my house on his off days. Hopefully Kenny Galladay is our number 1, or hopefully we get a new number 1 receiver. I think our number 1 receiver right now, if we had to pick one, would be Darius Slayton.
Yeah, or him or Wandale Robinson.
Yeah.
One of those two right now is our best receiver.
Chris, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it, brother. Says this is the second time the Chiefs took a problematic first-round pick from us. They also took DeAndre Baker.
Yep.
They must like our dirty laundry. I think I mentioned that in my video today, too, that the Kansas City's taken a couple of bad first-round picks from us. Baker obviously never panned out. I don't know what DeAndre Baker is doing. And now is he still in the league?
I don't think so. But they took the shot on him, yeah.
They did. And then, obviously, listen, I'll be honest. I think Tony is way more talented than DeAndre Baker.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Kadarius Toney is smarter than DeAndre Baker. Kadarius Toney's just I just come up with the word weird. I don't know. There's just something off about him. I don't know what it is. It's just weird. Like, I just don't think that Baker can play at this level. I do think Kadarius Toney can play at this level.
Tony's going to do, if he stays healthy, he's going to do well in Kansas City.
He will. He's everything about him is just, like I said, from the shoes to to him getting mad at people on Twitter. It is just weird how he didn't say anything to me. He didn't come at me.
He just blocked you.
Blocked me. I would have so enjoyed getting in a battle with that guy. Fun. Because I would have went back at him. You think I'm backing down? I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to be professional, man. I'm just a YouTuber. Yeah. No professionalism here. Sticky Vicky Tips saying, my friend, he mutes his replies on Twitter. Soft. That's right. You can't. Like I said, I never followed him, but when I did go to his Twitter, I didn't think you could comment on his stuff. Maybe that's why I didn't follow him. I think I went to follow him initially, and this is before all the injuries. And I noticed that he didn't allow comments. I'm like, there's no reason for me to follow him. I don't care.
Yeah.
Not that I really comment on players' pages. I usually don't, but if I wanted to, I was like, there's no reason to follow him if I can't say, hey, good job or whatever. I'm not going to go. Listen, I'm not going to someone's page and trolling them. If I have an issue, I just talk about it on my page, but I'm not going to go on their page just to troll. I don't do that. I'm not wasting my energy with that.
Yeah.
Dashy, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. If the Giants are trying to trade Galladay, what will the Giants want in return if they try to trade him to Cincy? We'll take T. Higgins off your hands.
You're not taking Galladay's contract's ridiculous. You're not trading for him. Nobody's
That's right. If Dashy wants,
if you want Kenny Galladay, we'll give him to you.
Take T. Higgins.
Nobody's taking Kenny Galladay. It's not happening.
You can keep Eli Apple, though. We don't want that guy back. You keep him. Well, listen, we'll take Boyd. Any of your receivers. Any one of them. Take Tyler Boyd. Fine with that.
I would love Tyler Boyd.
I'll be honest with Dash. I don't know who would want, like Chris said, I don't know who would want his contract.
Nobody, not one person's taking him.
But what I can say is, if somebody did, I don't know what they would offer for him.
You'd either have to pay him like $20-something million next year or cut him and eat like 14 or 15 million. It's like nobody's trading for him. Nobody's trading for him.
Yeah. I don't think so either. We just got to hope he produces.
Yeah.
Demir, thank you, my friend. Tony just left a bad taste in Giants fans' mouth, especially after the way he played out, like New York owed him a damn thing, a blessing to be rid of. Absolutely. Yeah. Just didn't fit in with what we're trying to do here. I think that was, again, just a weird dynamic, a weird aura about him. It's crazy. I don't know. I could never put my finger on it with him. It's just weird. He's just a weird dude. What do you think he does with that tattoo, Chris?
That's a good question.
I saw you put that on Twitter.
Yeah, well, it's going to be painful getting that removed. He literally painted his entire back. What was it, like the city of New York or something like that, right? Or something like that.
Number 89, yeah.
Number 89, yeah. So that's probably a tattoo he's going to regret.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what, maybe something famous. Maybe he'll put like barbecue from Kansas City on his back. I don't know what's famous there. Maybe a big picture of Pat Mahomes' face on his back to cover up the New York. I have no idea.
That's Pat Mahomes. Because a tattoo of Pat Mahomes on his back. Oh, I know what'll cover it up. Andy Reid.
Andy Reid would cover up his entire
body.
He's
a bigger gentleman. I mean, he could cover the back.
Yeah.
I think that would work. But yeah, that's going to be kids. Don't go out and get tattoos on impulses. Please don't do that. I almost did it when I was 18. I was in Chicago. I was hammered. I was going to get a Grim Reaper on my chest. It was going to be like this big because I thought it was cool. And I didn't have enough money. I think it was like $275. And I had I might have had like 200 or 205. And the guy's like, I can't do it for 205. And I always thank God that there was somebody looking out for me. I don't have any tattoos. I don't have any piercings. I never did. I was never really interested in them. But, you're 18 and you're not smart. You're like, oh, that would look really cool. I'm glad that didn't happen. But I would never do, like I said, Kadarius Toney, that was impulsive. And
Yeah.
you can never.
Somebody said in the chat, and I guess that's a good way to look at it. He said that was a time in his life that doesn't go away. And all right, that's fair. You got drafted to the NFL by the Giants, and good way to look at it.
Well, and the other good way to look at it is he can't see it, right? It's on his back.
Yeah, exactly.
It's you know what? He's going to look at it and go, you know what? That's behind me now.
There you go. Now we get Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid on the phone.
That's behind. New York's behind me. Literally.
There you go.
Bautista, thank you, my friend. We all know why Toney was traded. Daboll hated his rap. I couldn't blame Brian Daboll if you actually listen to the guy's rap. It's pretty bad.
I got to listen to his rap now before I go to bed.
Yeah, don't bother. Make your ears bleed. Lou, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. But man, he says, seen people say Judy is not a number one receiver. Thoughts? He would be a number one receiver on our team.
Yeah, but I don't think he's a number one receiver. Like, I mean, everybody's definition of a number one wide receiver is different. But for me, number one means you'd be a number one for most teams. I don't think he'd be the number one here, but that's not saying much. But he could develop into a number one. But right now, I don't view him as a number one.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if he was a number one receiver, obviously we'd have to give up top tier money, top tier draft picks for him. But I do think that he has a capability to listen. He was the 12th or 13th pick overall in the draft? I can't remember his exact number, but
he went ahead of CeeDee Lamb, right?
He was out of CeeDee. He went right after Henry Ruggs.
Yeah.
I remember when Ruggs was drafted. I remember Ruggs was 12th or 11th, but he went right after Ruggs. I actually thought Judy was the best receiver in that class, or outside of CeeDee Lamb, because obviously I was a big CeeDee Lamb guy. I thought Henry Ruggs is done, but I thought Henry Ruggs was drafted by the Raiders just because he was really fast. But you never know, Lou. If, like Chris said, he could definitely develop into one. We've seen what the coaching staff's been able to do with some lesser-known players from the practice squad, and while they're not lighting the world on fire, they're effective, right? So if you get a guy with first-round talent like a Jerry Jeudy,
I mean, Stephon Diggs, I don't know if I considered him a number one before he got to Buffalo. He was close,
right?
But once he got to Buffalo with Daboll, he really took off. So
he did.
Sometimes a change of scenery, right?
Yep, absolutely. When you go from a team like Denver that's struggling and no good, and you get to the Giants who are 6-1 and they're building something, you're pumped to go to work every day. When you're 1-6, you're going to sit there and go, oh God, not again. I got a football game to play. Oh, not again. When you're 61, you're like, let's go. Let's get another W. I mean, you're pumped. It's like the fan base. The fan base's energy is going to suck when you're 1-6 because what are you excited about? It's the same thing in the player. They're human. When you're 6-1, man, you're like, hell yeah, we can win today. So players going in going, yep, we can win today. So I think it would help Judy. And obviously it would help the Giants too. Look at Tom Brady still doing it.
Is he doing well tonight?
There's a flag. He just threw a touchdown, 5:04 to go, but there's a flag. KN, it's on. Wow, it's actually on Tampa Bay. I thought maybe Brady got rough. Maybe somebody got near him. KN, thank you, my friend. He says, we killed Eric Flowers worse, and he was still a pro.
Yeah, he took shots after, but I got no issues with that. You could say whatever you want after the fact, and we gave him a lot of hell. But yeah, while he was here, he showed up to work every day, and he tried his best. He wasn't good.
He was out of position too. And again, I think part of it is I was saying for years to put the guy at guard. Felt like he was a good run blocker, and he played guard, and he got 3 years, $30 million. So he did pretty good for Washington and Miami. Floyd, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Can you guys believe we got 2 picks for him?
3rd and 6th. I'm very happy with that draft competition. That's good draft competition. I mean, the guy's 400 career receiving yards. He's got no touchdowns.
Yep.
What'd you think? You can't get much. I thought we get like a 5th round pick.
Right. Because you can only get so much based on potential. You know what I mean? If he was healthy and he put up good numbers and the Giants didn't want him, they might have been able to get more. But for the fact that Chris said, he has 420 crew, you know what to do. Smoke him because got 420 yards receiving. I think we got a good haul for him. I really do. MJ, my friend, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Says, hopefully Kadarius gets himself right as a person first and a player. Wish him luck, but we have a job to do. Meanwhile, let's support the dudes actually busting their ass in rehab or on the field, like Nick Gates, for instance.
Yeah.
Nick Gates is coming back. Nick Gates should be ready to go soon. That's a huge plus for the Giants. He's a guy that works hard, fights. He's going to be a perfect fit for the Giants.
Tommy B said his super chat got skipped. I'll make sure that it didn't. I'll go back up there and look. We'll find it.
Whose is it? Oh,
Tommy
I did. I got it, Tommy. I got it. Sorry about that. Yeah, StreamYard glitches sometimes and it chunks up and then there we go. Tommy, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate you, brother. You said this would be an easy week to go to Seattle with no focus because everyone's saying we're great and we have a bye next week. B-Dabs won't allow that mess. Completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, we may lose. I don't know. I think I'm picking us to win, but we could lose. But I don't think it's going to be because we're not prepared and we're not focused. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm not too worried about Seattle. I'm not too worried about the environment in Seattle. We've dealt with traveling back from London, and I thought that was going to be something that really screwed us up against the Ravens, right? Short travel. There's a reason they give you the option to have the bye after the London trip because it is a disadvantage. The team came out well prepared for that. They've had tons of injuries this year. They've come out prepared each and every week. So I think this team's going to come out ready to play. I think they're going to come out motivated. I think they're going to come out with a good game plan. But we could lose. Seattle's playing really well. I mean, they beat the Chargers last week by 14. We're on the road. It's a tough game. We'll see. We'll see how we stack up. I think there's a really good test this week.
I agree. The other thing is, like I mentioned this in the last stream, Coach Dable said after the Jacksonville game, never really happy. When you're not happy and you're not settling, to me, that's a winner's mentality. And I've said this before, it doesn't matter if it's football, it doesn't matter if it's your job, it doesn't matter if it's the gym, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You reach a goal, set another goal. Because if you I'm just going to use weight loss as an example because you guys know I love to work out and all this stuff, okay? If you're 250 pounds and like Chris was, what would you say you were 248?
249 if you round up.
Okay, and you wanted to get to
170 is my eventual goal. I've kind of been like slacking. I'm about 194 right now. But
okay, but say Chris, that was your whole goal the whole time?
Yeah, 170 is my eventual goal.
Let's just put it this way. Let's just say Chris said, I'm 249, I want to get to 200.
Yeah.
And then he gets to 200. And then he settles.
Yeah.
Is he going to maintain? Probably not. He's probably going to go, well, you don't want to reach the goal. I can get a little lax now. Yeah. And then before you know it, that forms into a habit. And the next thing you know, you've fallen back.
Right.
But you reach 200 pounds, you're like, all right, I reached that. Awesome. Now I want to get to 190. Now I want to get to 180. Yeah. That's like Dable. We're 6-1. Awesome. I want 7-1. You made the playoffs. You clinched your playoff spot. Awesome. I want to win the division. Well, you won the division. Now I want to win the divisional round. Now I want to win a Super Bowl. You won the Super Bowl. You happy? No, I want to win another Super Bowl. Yeah. That's what you got to be as a head coach. I'm not happy. We have to get better. We're winning, but we got a lot of things we can improve on. That's what I want to hear from my head coach. And that's why I don't think the Giants will have a letdown in Seattle.
And you're hearing it from the players too. Julian Love said it after the game, basically the same thing that Dable said. Saquon Barkley basically said the same thing. Like they're not happy with that win. They felt like they should have played much better, which is exactly what you want to hear. We're 6-1, and the players are voicing displeasure with the way they're playing.
Right, and it was tough because they had to play the officials too. So that was tough. Yeah. Joe, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Is it too late to give up on Galladay, or can he surprise us in the second half of the season?
For this year, it's not too late. For next year, he's not coming back.
Right. I definitely think he could be a useful piece if he can stay healthy and he can focus on just playing football and tune everything out. Tune out the pass, tune out all the drops, tune out the fact that you don't have a touchdown. Just go out and play football. Do your job. Just do what they ask you. Just concentrate on yourself and on the team. And I think that he can definitely be important. He's too talented to be this bad. He
could have an impact. He could definitely have an impact.
Yes.
He's going to get the opportunity when he's back out there healthy. So hopefully he does. We need help there. So
we need a lot of help.
Hopefully he does.
No question about it. Demir, thank you, my friend. What are your thoughts on DJ Moore? He only cost $600,000, but the Panthers $41 million dead money, or Jerry Judy, who has a 50% catch rate. We also talked about this. DJ Moore's cap hit this year is nothing, but next year it's almost $20 million.
And then I think it's higher even after that.
We can't carry a receiver for $20 million next year. I'd rather just draft one.
Yeah, I like DJ Moore. I think he's a really good fit in this offense. But and if money wasn't a factor, I'm taking him over Jerry Judy. Right.
Yes.
But I think you have to factor in money. I mean, you have to think long term as well, not just this year. So I don't think DJ Moore's a guy we're going to be looking at. I think Jerry Judy's at least a possibility. I think a guy like Claypool's at least a possibility. Guys like that. You guys that are still in their rookie salaries, that are young, maybe they're on teams that are looking to rebuild. Those are the types of players you want to be thinking about.
Yep. Duran, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Andy Reid will Sharpie some eyebrows on Tony. Why doesn't he have eyebrows? I mean, I can let him borrow some. Like my eyebrows are thick. I got plenty to spare. So if he wants some, I can hook him up. Some eyebrows.
Cooks, I
Maybe
don't
if he
see.
had eyebrows, he wouldn't pull his hamstrings. Maybe he'd be more balanced. He had a little weight up here. I don't know.
Moose says, I like Cooks. We're not bringing any Cooks. He's a veteran. He's like 30, 31, and he makes a decent salary, so that's not going to happen.
Toba, thank you for super chat. His rap is fire, bad dog. Quit capping to Chris.
I've heard mixed reviews on his rap. I have no idea.
I'll put it this way. Anybody that uses the words fire and capping doesn't know what real rap is. I'm just going to say that. Sorry, Toba. Sorry. He ain't Nas. He ain't big. Like I said, all the guys I mentioned earlier, he ain't those guys. He ain't those guys.
I know nothing about today's rap. I know a little bit about.
You don't need to know anything about it.
All I know is like people in my Discord like 5 months ago showed me something called mumble rap, and I listened to it, and it was the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So if that's anything like Kadarius Toney's rap, I'm not a fan.
So pretty much whenever Kadarius Toney talks, he's rapping because I can't understand a damn thing that guy says. I know. Listen, I'm older. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna like today's rap. That happens. That happens to everybody, man. Usually, you get older. You just get to a point where it's like, that's my cutoff, and that's the end of it. I think once we got to Master P and who's the other guy, Mystical, and that's like, I think at that point I was kind of off of rap. I liked R&B up to like Chris Brown and Usher and Neo, which was, 2008, 2009, 2010. And I just that was the end of it. I really don't like new music. There's a couple songs.
He is a mumble rapper. Yeah, I have no interest.
Of course he is. You ever hear him talk? He's a mumble typer too. You ever agree? I need a translator to know what the hell Kadarius Toney's telling me.
I have no interest in listening to it. I know the younger generation likes that stuff.
I'm old.
And listen, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. The younger generation, they like that. I don't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm old. I don't know what the... Then listen, you guys put acronyms up and think, what the hell does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what the hell that means. Sonny, my friend, thank you for super chat. He says KT got Antonio Brown vibes. He really does. It kind of bothered me how many pro Kadarius Toney fans were attacking other fans for rejoicing. Why? Kadarius Toney did absolutely nothing here. Some guys just have their favorites. Chris talked about it before. They'll just defend their guy tooth and nail, regardless.
And I mean, there's player fans at the end of the day, and they're always going to take the player's side no matter what. And it is what it is. Everybody's got their own opinions. I guess people are.
That's exactly it. I'm not going to listen. If somebody loves Kadarius Toney and thinks it was a foolish trade, I'm not going to go, oh, you're stupid for thinking that. No, you can think whatever you want. That's what makes a fan. Not every fan's going to agree. Every fan looks at things differently, sees things differently, has different analysis, different opinions. We're human. We're all going to think different things. We don't all share the same brain. Thank God. Because if you ever read some of this shit on Twitter, you would think that they don't have a brain. It's all call Kadarius Toney the Tin Man. There's a lot of scarecrows on the damn Twitter. To have only had a brain, that's some things I'm like, whoa, okay. I don't know what's going on. Jakey, thank you, my friend. He says, do you think the Giants would give up a first for DJ Moore? No. We're not trading for DJ Moore. The money alone, we're not trading for him. No. He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. You could get a first-round wide receiver and put him on a rookie deal, and he's not going to cost the money that DJ Moore is going to cost. Unless they eat some of the money, but why would Carolina do that? So it's not going to happen. I'd rather get Terrace Marshall if we're taking a Carolina receiver. He's cost $1 million. He's fast as hell. He's 22. I'd rather go with that route. Just because, like Chris said, if money was not an object, DJ Moore is a perfect fit. But money is an object. He's a lot of money next year, and we have to figure out what we're doing with Jones, Barkley, Dexter Lawrence. There's 3 really important pieces right there, not including, maybe finding a way to sign Andrew Thomas as soon as you can. So, Brandon, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. Says, excited for the game this week. Salute to you guys for all the hard work and content you guys are putting out. Good to see you guys happy and playing well. Thank you, Brandon. We appreciate it. Brandon, man, I'm not going to – good luck this week, but I hope you lose. But good luck this week. Brandon's always been a great supporter of both of ours, and he's been a diehard Seahawks fan for the longest time, and he's got to be just as pleasantly surprised as we are, because I don't think any Seahawks fan thought going into the year with Geno Smith that they'd be sitting at 4-3. I don't know. Like you said, Chris, if somebody would have told you on Twitter, if somebody would have told you at the beginning of the year this was the best game of the week, you would have said what? Yeah, going right now this week, Bad Dog,
this is the only game where two teams with a winning record are playing each other.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
It is insane. And in the Giants and Seahawks, people probably circled that in their calendar and go, God, that's going to be horrible.
Like, listen to the schedule. Like, going in to the year, Ravens, Bucks, you would have said, oh, that's going to be a great game, tonight's game. You would have looked at the, let's see. No. Niners, Rams. You would have said that's an incredible game. Packers, Bills. You would have said that's an incredible game. So yeah, it's just a lot of these teams aren't living up to what you thought they were going to be preseason, and these two teams are two of the biggest surprises.
Yep, I agree. Janice, my lady, thank you so much for the super chat. She says these past few seasons, it seems like these self-serving, moody guys like Toney are taken away from the true hardworking guys that fight every week. Go G-men.
I don't know.
I mean, there's obviously we're not in the locker room, so we don't know the dynamic in there, but it comes off like that. It comes off like Kadarius Toney's a guy that doesn't care because he doesn't show up for voluntary camp because he said he was healthy and he could have played. Like Chris, maybe the Giants held him out. Maybe he just said it was worse than who knows. He's going back in the face. It's not a good look for him. He doesn't.
All I can tell you is they had a reason to trade him.
Right. So, but yes, you look at a guy that sits out all year and he's hurt constantly, and everybody else is like Saquon Barkley's arms hanging off. He's got a bad shoulder. Daniel Jones running around the bad ankle. Nick Gates coming back from a horrible.
By the way, I didn't get a chance to hear this, Baddog. I saw KG said we know the responses from Barkley, and Jones says it all. I did not know the players talked on it quite yet, so that's something I'll check out after the stream. I was actually very interested to see what the players were going to say after the Kadarius Toney trade, because your first thought process goes, could this affect the locker room, right? When you trade a player in season like that. So I'm curious to get, I think that's what you're referring to, KG. So I'm actually very interested to see what they had to say about the trade.
I don't know what Kayvon Thibodeau had to say.
Matter of fact, I'm going to look that up as you're talking. Right. I'm very curious to see what they had to say.
Pistol Pete, thank you, my friend. Baddog, Seattle's rush defense makes me a little nervous. We need to remind the NFL who Geno really is. I think you said it last time. Tainah is the best for Tainah. Big test for the Knicks tomorrow. Are you going live?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to go live for the Knicks tomorrow. I was going to do it on Wednesday, but Wednesday I go into work in the city, so I don't get home till later. By the way, if he's watching, I don't know if he is. This is so cool, Baddog. So once a week, I work from home at my new job 4 days a week. I go into the city once a week. The last 3 times I've gone into the city, I've run into somebody that knows me from my channel. So it's cool. I guess because I'm going to the city, there's a lot of people on the train, at the subway, and Steve, if you're watching, I met him on the train, and he says he watches us all the time. So
awesome.
If you're watching, Steve, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. Steve. And I think his name was Steve. I hope I'm not getting his name wrong, but I think it was Steve. He comes up to me, Baddog, and I'm waiting for my train at the Long Island Railroad, and he keeps like looking over like a pillar. And he keeps looking, and the train gets there, and he goes, I got to ask you a question. Are you on YouTube? And I said, yeah, I'm on YouTube. He goes, you're the Giants guy. I watch you all the time. And then he pulls up his jeans. He's got a Giants tattoo down his whole leg with all the Super Bowl rings. Said, nice. I watch your stuff all the time. You're awesome. So I want to shout out Steve if he's watching.
That was definitely cool. I haven't had anybody recognize me in a long time, but it is cool. And like I said, it's cool and it's humbling at the same time, because I'm always like, really? I always think to myself, like, does somebody really wants to come up and say, hey, I watch you on YouTube, man. I love what you do. Like, I don't know. It's weird to think that you have that kind of impact on somebody, I guess. Cool. I don't know. It is awesome. But yeah. Like I said, I'm always taken aback by it, because it's like, I'm nobody. I'm just a dude that screams about the Giants. That's it. But again, I think fans can relate. And I think that's why this is such a great format, why this show is so awesome, and why our streams on Sunday are awesome. Because like I said, we watch the Giants with 3,000-4,000 of our closest friends, sometimes 5,000. I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool. And I think it's really cool that people actually do know who you are. But again, I live upstate, so it's not like it's extremely populous around here. It's popular. I'm not out in the country. But it's
cool to get to talk to him for a second there. And, seemed like a good guy. So it just reminded me, because I was talking about coming back from work. That's why I didn't do the Knicks game on Wednesday. But
then Jalen Brunson had a big one.
Jalen Brunson's been awesome for the Knicks. Jalen Brunson the first 2 games didn't have a turnover.
27 13 assists last night.
Yeah, last night he was Jalen Brunson. I mean, my God, I didn't know what a point guard was until this year. The Knicks haven't had one since.
As I said, I don't remember, and I didn't even think he was going to be that good with the Knicks. I mean, I know he's a good player, but
I did. I like that. I like that signing. I thought it was a good signing. I'm really excited about Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I'm like point guard. I'm like, what the hell is that? I haven't seen one of those since Mark Jackson played here.
He's going to be. I mean, I knew he was going to be good because he was kind of not getting much of an opportunity there because of Luka, right? Because he was ball dominant. But when you got an opportunity to see him in the playoffs last year, he looked awesome, and he's been awesome so far for the Knicks. Great move by the Knicks.
Yep. Steven, thank you, my friend. He says injuries and Jones' bad quarterback play last year hurt Kadarius Toney's numbers. He gets open, but Jones can't throw the ball to him. Plain and simply unbiased opinion, non-New York Giant fan. Maybe last year. This year, he just wasn't on the field ever.
He wasn't on the field last year a lot either, to be honest.
No, he wasn't. But yeah, no, I agree. I think last year there was a lot of guys open. Jones had no time to throw it, and that was just a terrible offensive system.
I'm gonna look at the games that Kadarius Toney played last year. I'm curious because remember Jones missed 6 games too,
right?
Due to injury. I'm curious to see which games he played because I know he missed some time. Last year, Kadarius Toney played week 1, but it was very. Oh no, that's this year. I'm sorry, because I was gonna say I didn't think he played week 1 last year. Because
by the way, hit those likes, guys. Let's get 500 likes up in here. Make sure you guys are hitting the like and subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell. If you haven't done so, go into the description. Subscribe to Chris because they're going to be on that channel probably 4:00 Sunday.
Yeah. Yep.
For the Seahawks and Giants. You don't want to miss it. Subscribe to both channels. Come along with the ride, Giants fans. Long overdue, but we're damn good this year. Let's enjoy it together.
All right, yeah. So I'm looking at it now. He didn't play the first 2 weeks, really. The first game, he had a very limited role. I remember they got him out there for like a couple of plays. He had 2 catches for -2 yards, but I'm not going to count that. Week 2, he didn't see a snap. I remember that. Week 3, he started to see a little bit of time, and he had 16 yards. Really, the first week that he got real playing time was week 4 against New Orleans. He had 6 catches for 78 yards. And then you had the huge game against Dallas. Of course, Jones got hurt in that game, but he was doing well with Jones before he got hurt, and then Glennon came in. I think Jones missed the next game, right, against the Rams, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he played in that next game. I can't recall. Did he miss
that? He played against Philly.
So he didn't play a whole lot last year with Jones because remember Jones missed some time. So he didn't play that much at all anyway. So I don't think it had anything to do with Jones. It had to do with the offensive scheme, and it had to do with the fact that the Giants just didn't have any good quarterback playing after Jones went down with the injury. So I don't think it had much to do with Daniel Jones in terms of Kadarius Toney not producing.
Oh, shit. I freaking hit my mouse and I just freaking lost everything I wanted there. Where am I? There we go. I see someone said Baddog, respect Kendrick Lamar. I don't even know who the hell that is, to be honest with you. Astro Kid, thank you, my friend. He says Astros in game 4 and Giants 7-1 on Monday. Let's go. I think the Astros will win, though. I think they'll win the whole thing. Toba says, I love you guys. We appreciate that. We love you, too. We try to bring
Toba. I got to be Toba at Giants Fan Fest. He was awesome.
Awesome. We like to try to bring a mix. We like to keep it entertaining, have a little fun. It's a lot easier to have fun when you're 6-1 as opposed to when you're 1-6. I can tell you. Greg C., thank you, my friend. He says, I like how Barkley handled it.
Yeah, listen, Barkley showed a little bit of, a little bit of, animosity, but he did it in a classy way this year. He basically said, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to take everything you guys have said about me, and I'm going to fuel that for me to blow up this year. And you guys are going to inspire me to become a better football player. So he showed a little bit, but he did it in a much classier way.
There's a little chip on his shoulder.
A little chip on his shoulder, which I'm all about.
Eli, thank you, my friend. He says, we've gotten rid of 6 first-rounders since 2014. Tells you how bad our picks were.
Yeah, I mean.
Ingram, Flowers, Apple, Odell, DeAndre Baker, and now Kadarius Toney.
What first-rounders do we have? We have Dexter Lawrence. We have Daniel
Jones, Saquon Barkley. That's it.
No, Andrew Thomas.
Oh, Andrew Thomas. That's right. Well, Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal, obviously.
Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal. So those are our first-rounders that are currently on the team.
Ethan, my friend, thank you for the super chat from Dan Good I might. I'll be doing well down there. He says, need to worry about Goodwin for the Hawks, not just Walker. He scored 2 touchdowns against the Chargers. We need to contain him and Tyler Lockett. This will be close. I agree. It's going to be close. I still think Kenneth Walker's the focus. If Gino beats you, beats you. But I think you got to focus on stopping that run.
Yeah, we said it in the stream before this one and I know Gino's been playing well. I know they got weapons, but without DK, especially without DK Metcalf, and with how bad we've been against the run and the fact that we want to win on ball control, the Giants have got to do everything in their power to stop that run, to limit that run. So I think that's going to be the focal point. I expect them to try to stack the box and blitz and try to make Geno Smith beat him with his arm. And if he does, he does. But I think that's going to be the game plan going in.
Why are the Bucks not kicking a field goal right here? It's 27-16. Well, I scored. I don't know what the flag is, but yeah, Brady's looking mortal. Tampa Bay could fall to 3-5 here. They're gonna need a miracle to win this one. Ronald, thank you, my friend. I'm just happy the other New York fans don't think I'm insane anymore. DJ, I wasn't even pro Jones. I just stated we couldn't tell. Hope it works out for us.
Yeah, I mean that was basically my stance on it as well. Like I was like, I don't know, because we haven't seen him get a real opportunity for the most part. I still am not convinced he's a franchise guy, but I have a very high standards for that. But I'm glad that he's finally showing people that, yeah, he could be a good quarterback in the NFL.
Our Giants says, I remember those kids at the stadium. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was cool.
Because I remember seeing kids looking up and waving, and I don't know, they're waving at me. I thought they were waving at people behind me. And then a little while later, like, bad dog. And I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? And I remember my buddy DWG's like, that was really cool. He's like, those kids like know you. I'm like, yeah, that was pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh God, I wonder if the parents see what I do. Cause like those kids probably saw my Daniel Jones reaction. They probably learned a few new words. The kids know those words nowadays. What am I talking about? They could teach me a few words. Like capping. I don't know what that is. Brian, if I think of capping, I think of this. Snow caps. Movie theater. Brian, thank you, my friend. He says, said we never got to see KT's talent utilized in the field. We need more talented guys in this roster. Hopefully, Joe Shane can get max value with the picks. And that's what his job's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And we will. We'll get talent over the years. We have some talented guys. I mean, Kayvon Thibodeau looks really talented. Andrew Thomas is really talented. Obviously, Dexter Lawrence is really talented. Saquon Barkley's really talented. So we have guys with talent on this team, but yeah, we need more for sure.
I agree. Manny, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. What train you on, Tainah? I got to get an autograph.
Manny,
he's on the soul train. That shows you how old I am.
Jamaica train station, you can spot me. Oh. That's where he found me. So there you go.
Well, I thought you were on the soul train. Don Cornelius. That is how old I am. You older guys, you definitely remember the soul train and Don Cornelius. You younger guys have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. The soul train. I think I am caught up. No, I know what cap means. I was just kidding. Because I said it before. I'm like, as the kids would say, no cap, meaning no BS. I think I said before, like, I think the first time I ever used it, I said, Tiki.
If we weren't on YouTube, we wouldn't know what cap meant. But because
God, if I wasn't on social media, I have no clue what the hell they were talking
about. But now I know what it means just because of you guys. But
or like when they say that's fire, like I wouldn't know what the hell that meant.
I think I would know that one, but I wouldn't know the cap. I wouldn't get the cap.
I mean, God, when I was younger, what the hell? It was like the slang was that's dope. That was a big one when I was a kid. Fly.
PHAT. That's PHAT, fat.
Yep,
that was like cool.
Pretty hot and tempting. That's what it stood for. Yeah. Fly. Yeah, that girl's fly. Yeah. Man, that was one. Hype. Hype is still a word that's out there. That never fell off. Dope is a funny one, though. Dope is a funny one. Group of boomers, somebody said. No. Boomers are the generation before me.
Boomers
I'm a Gen Xer.
Right?
I'm a Gen Xer. Boomer was before.
I think I'm the last year. I think we looked this up one time. Or maybe I looked it up on my stream. I think I'm the last year for millenniums. I'm just missed the cut for whatever the
Gen X. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm curious.
Yeah. It depends on where you look. Like a Gen Xer, I think was like 1969 to 82. It's something like that. 1971 to 82. I'm definitely a Gen Xer. If you were born in the 70s, you're a Gen Xer. I thought millennials were 82.
1981 to 1996 are millennials. So I was born in 85, so I'm a millennial.
There you go. I'm a Gen Xer. Chris is a Gen Y, and then Gen Z came after that. Joe Beningo, bro. Joe Beningo's a boomer. Joe Beningo's a bruiser.
I
He
like
might
Joe.
be a bruiser
I like
too. He's a
Joe.
Jets fan. The Jets are having a good year.
I like Joe. I like his rants when he used to be on WFA. Hey, bro, the pain, bro, the pain.
The pain, bro. Yeah, all the Italian guys have good rants. That's what you expect. It's what we're known for, Mike Francesa.
I used to enjoy listening to him. Not about the Mets because I'm a Mets fan, but I used to enjoy listening to him get upset about the Jets. He had good rants.
Right. Yes, he did. He definitely did. No question about that. Mike Francesa had great rants too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's no question about it.
I still say Francesa's best piece of radio that I've ever heard was the Eli Manning rant when they replaced it for Geno Smith.
That was a good one.
He went on for like 40 minutes.
That was definitely a good one. The one thing that I love, my favorite rant from Francesa, I like the one with the Mets when they got swept by the Rockies.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yes, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
I always say Francesa. I really believe Francesa, and I think it was Francesa. It was Mike and the Mad Dog at that point. I still think they were widely responsible for why the New York Mets got Mike Piazza.
They were
because they pushed that so hard on their show, and a lot of people felt like they brought a lot of pressure on the Mets for him to make that trade. I remember that. I still say that. I say thank you, Mike, because you got us Mike Piazza, but. I always thought he was somewhat responsible for the Mets getting Piazza.
No, I always said those two guys are major influences on me. I mean, I grew up listening to them all the way through high school, but I remember when you could start streaming the radio through the computer. This had to be 2003, 2004. I remember listening to Beningo and Roberts before Mike and the Mad Dog would come on. I always remember that. I would just stream that all day, WFAN. Never was a big fan of Evan Roberts. I didn't mind Beningo so much. I never liked Evan Roberts.
Roberts, to me, he's not like super entertaining. He's clearly a guy that knows he knows his teams. He's definitely a passionate fan. But yeah, yes. I get it. He doesn't have like the personality. I get that. I don't like that, and I don't listen to him that often because I'm not normally driving during that hour. Like I said, I take the train, but every once in a while I'll hear him, and I don't really like the dynamic between him and Carton.
Yeah,
I feel like Carton is better suited for morning. When you don't want to hear like super serious sports talk, and I just don't feel like they work well together. I feel it's like forced chemistry. I don't like their dynamic.
I agree. Giants Mafia Gang says if the Giants beat Seattle, we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl during the bye week. I don't see why not us. We got a ways to go.
If the Giants win this week, I think they're going to be 9-1. Because I home against the Lions and home against the Texans, like you got to think we're going to win those games off the bye. So
you would think so.
I think we're going to be 9-1 if we could win this week. But 1 week at a time. But
that's right.
That's the thought I'm going to have in my head. We're going to be 9-1 if we win this week.
Yep, that's right. 1 week at a time. There's no question about it. 1 week at a time. Yeah, Rick, I just found Mike's podcasts and started listening to them again because he always just, I don't know. I always I go back and listen to old Mike and the Mad Dog stuff all the time because I miss them. I think they were fantastic. They're fantastic. We always talk about, we should get a player on the show sometime. I would love, not that they'd ever do this show, but I would love to get one of those guys on here just because, I mean, for me anyway, there's such an influence on what I do on here, and I think they were the best. New York radio, very entertaining. Both of them ranted, and I think it was good that Chris hated the Yankees and Mike loved them, and it was real. They agreed most of the time, but it was funny when both of them ranted in different ways, and it was good.
Yeah, no, they had obviously they had great chemistry.
Yeah, fantastic. Simon, thank you, my friend. He says, "Sup, fellas? Which wide receiver do you want? You all happy about Kadarius Toney?" I wasn't upset.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to use the term happy. I'm not like thrilled that we traded Toney. I'm just like not. It's like whatever. I kind of like halfway expected it. It's like, all right, it's like doesn't really faze me. I knew there was a very good chance he wasn't going to be here that much longer. So I'm not shocked. I'm not thrilled. It's not like, yes, we got rid of Toney. No, I don't feel that way, but I'm definitely not like upset about it. Let's put it that way.
Right. Giants fan says he's talking about the Super Bowl. He says that conversation doesn't start till we beat Dallas and Philly. Yeah, if we beat Dallas and Philly,
that's a different.
Yeah, that's a different Philly. Level. Then you start thinking we can make some noise in the playoffs.
That's a different level. We beat those two teams.
You start maybe not Super Bowl, but you start to think we can make some noise.
Well, Baddog, here's what I'm going to say. Let's say we win this week. Which we are far from doing. But let's say we win this week because we both agree this is going to be a tough game.
Absolutely.
If we win this week, I think we could both agree we're looking at 9-1. There's a very strong possibility. Detroit's playing horrible right now. Houston is atrocious. So let's say we get to 9-1 if we win this week off the bye. If we were ever to win those 2 games, not only are we looking at a strong possibility of winning the division, at that point you're looking at a strong possibility of having the number 1 seed.
Correct.
So if we were to get the number 1 seed, you have to think the Super Bowl is a possibility.
Yeah, because Philadelphia is one of the best teams in football right now. So if you're able to knock them off, then yeah, you got a really good chance. There's no reason to think we can't. I mean, obviously Buffalo is going to be that'd be the one team. If we found a way to beat Philadelphia, that would definitely be the Buffalo. Would be the one team I'm scared of. I wouldn't be scared of anybody else in the AFC. If we're good enough to beat Philadelphia, even if we split with Philadelphia, just knowing we're good enough to beat them once, that doesn't mean we couldn't beat them in the playoffs once. So if we could find a way to beat those 2 teams, yes, then I start to really have high expectations. Like, listen, if we can beat those 2 teams, then we should be able to beat anybody else. And there's no
now
reason
we're far away from that.
Very far away.
We're far away from that. But if they did that, yeah, then like right now, I think our expectations are playoffs.
Yeah, and I think
that's our
legitimate.
expectations right now. I think playoffs, and I think that's fair expectations to have. Maybe a first-round win, but just get there and see what happens. If we win those games and we set ourselves up to win this division, then you start thinking maybe deep playoffs.
Yeah, it is. It's 1 week at a time.
But it's 1 week
at a time. We beat Seattle. We got a very tough game against Seattle. Just beat them, get the bye, get healthy, beat the 2 teams out of the bye you're supposed to, and then we have the big tests. Then we got the stretch run where you start playing the NFC East a lot.
Yeah.
ENA, we got time. Thank you for the super chat. He says, just get here. Sorry I'm late. You don't ever need to apologize. I don't want Jerry Jeudy. You all know who we got to bring. He loves Chase Claypool.
He was always a huge Chase Claypool.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Hey, maybe we'll get him.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. It depends on what the asking price is.
Stu says take one from Philly and Dallas, and then I'll start talking. And that Philly has our number. They definitely do, but recently they haven't had our number. I think we've split 2 out of the last 4 against them.
And we would have won the game in 2020 had Evan Ingram just held on to that ball.
Yeah, we won against Hurts last year. That was Jones's last game last year, and then he got hurt from within that game. And then we beat him the year before once. So we've held our own against the Eagles the last couple of years.
Bull Eli says, how did Philly get Quinn for $700,000? We can't get DJ Moore because, again, Philadelphia has a lot more cap space than we do. We're very limited. DJ Moore's cap hit next season is a ton. Not this year. Next year, it's $20 million. We're going to have about $50 million, $55 million in cap space. You have to decide, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, what are you doing with them? They're both free agents. So if they want to come back, we got to pay those guys. Mm-hmm. If they want a quarterback, I'm paying Daniel Jones before I pay any other position because he's the most important position on the field. Then I'm looking at Saquon Barkley. We got killed picking, and I'm not saying that would happen with DJ Moore, but we got killed with this Kenny Golladay contract. I don't know if I'd want to jump right into another one of those, especially when you could just draft one in the first round and to be on a rookie deal.
I think
that's why
we're not trading for DJ Moore.
No. Well, Duran, I don't even think that he's that much money this year. The Bears didn't pay a lot of his cap; it's just prorated. I think what did we say his cap was? 1.2 million.
What are you talking about?
Robert Quinn.
Oh, Robert Quinn. Yeah, I think it might have even been less than that.
Well, $700,000 for Philly because it's prorated.
He's due to make $13 million, $14 million the next 2 years, but there's no dead cap hit, so they could get out of it without any cap hit at all. But yeah, this year it was like under $1 million. It was nothing.
Right. So I think that's why. Somebody says, Raphael says Claypool is the trade.
Possible.
It definitely is. Listen, we're going to find out pretty soon, right? And I can't wait to see what we do. It'll be interesting. Listen, even before we started winning these games, I know a lot of people threw a fit about the Wan'Dale Robinson pick, and you know me, I'm an impatient guy. But when we took Wan'Dale Robinson, I wasn't mad. I just said, "Hey, listen, we got to understand what Joe Shane's doing." I'm like, I can't get mad at the pick. Maybe he's the guy that fits their system. We have to see what Wan'Dale Robinson can do here.
Yeah.
And it was pretty obvious that they were down on Kadarius Toney and said, listen, let's get a guy. We like Kadarius Toney's skill set, but we're not really sure how he'll fit in here personality-wise. He didn't show up to voluntary camp. Whatever it was. There was something that they were not sure about and said, let's draft a guy like him. And then Wan'Dale came in, and he's been very productive since he came back here. And I think he'll continue to be productive. I think I put that on Twitter that I think Wan'Dale is going to make a big impact in offense the rest of the season.
Wan'Dale's look good. Wan'Dale's made a couple of really nice catches.
Yeah.
And they said they had a clear role for him when they drafted him, and they weren't lying. They have had a clear role for him. So I think he's only going to get better. I'm excited about Wan'Dale.
Yeah. Will, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, brother. He says, what up, guys? Big Finns fan from the UK. Well, thank you for watching at like 4:30 in the morning, Will. I can't lie. It's nice seeing you guys 6-1, but something makes me miss you guys ranting against Joe Judge. Listen, you can always go back and watch those videos. Will, they're there. You know, they haven't gone away. So if you ever get them in the mood to watch a rant, you can always go back in time and go, yeah, I remember this. This is pretty funny. Listen, sometimes I go back. I think the video on my page for returning subscribers is me with the bag over my head and ripping Joe Judge. I think that's what is. One of my favorites that I watched the other day was my parody press conference of Joe Judge.
Oh, those were hysterical. Those Joe Judge videos.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I'm trying to find this because somebody keeps asking me if I've seen it. If I could find it, I'll share it on the stream and we can watch it together. Here it is. Let's watch it. Saquon Barkley on the Kadarius. It's only 27 seconds. Right. And then I think somebody said there's a Daniel Jones one too. So I'll share this real quick in the stream so everybody can watch it if you haven't seen it. I'm actually very interested to see. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh, hold on one second. Let me just hit the share button.
Just gonna say, Tyler, thank you for the $1 donation, man. Really appreciate it.
Here we go. This is what Barkley had to say. It's only a 29-second clip. I don't know if there's longer clips, and then I'll look for the one on Jones as well.
It's a trade. You're gonna be shocked, but KT is a talented player, and I wish him nothing but the best of luck in KC.
For a team that's lost a few receivers already, is it difficult to lose, a guy that talented at receiver?
I never want to take anything away from KT. Like I said, he's a talented player, but for us right now, it's just continue to have the same mindset, one-and-oh mindset, fall in love with the process, and go in Seattle and try to come out with a win.
There you go.
I was muted. I didn't want an echo when I was playing it, but he said everything right there. He didn't badmouth Toney on the way out, but he also said, "Listen, we're still thinking about this team. We're still thinking about this year. We're pushing forward," and that's what you expect him to say. So that's a good response by Saquon Barkley.
And it's all business.
Yeah,
that's really business. What it is. You can't worry about it, and you got to move on. He's not here. You move on, and you win a game in Seattle.
Yeah. So it's a good response. Good response.
Yeah, this is right. Barkley sounded like he did. He's like, it kind of sounded like, wait, whatever, man. That's what I got out of it too. A very canned response. Like, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna say anything bad about him, but I don't really care.
Barkley's not the type of guy that would ever do that.
No.
Barkley's as respectful as they come. So you wouldn't expect him to do anything like that. But I love the way Saquon Barkley handles himself. I love that about him just as much as anything else. He's awesome. So
yes, he is.
You wouldn't expect him to say anything derogatory.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go, man. Jay says goodbye, Tin Man. Like I said, I think it's just funny that he ended up in Kansas City. I just thought that was hilarious. I think that was pretty funny. Basically, he said we've been winning without him. Well, they have been winning without him.
I just want to ask the chat. I think somebody said there's a DJ video. I tried to look it up. Is there a DJ video? I couldn't find it. If there is one, I will look for it, but I didn't see it.
By the way, guys, we're almost at 500 likes. So if you could hit that thumbs up, that'd be awesome. Let's get to 500 likes 50 ways. There's almost 900 people in here. So thank you for hanging out with Chris and the Bad Dog on a Thursday evening on the evening of the Kadarius Toney trade. And obviously a big game against Seattle. The Giants may look to add another wide receiver. And obviously if there is any wide receivers, Chris and I will do videos on it, wherever the hell we are. We'll put something about it. But now we can be on the edge of our seat. I'm not going to be one of the Philadelphia content creators that comes out and says we're going to get everybody under the sun. But I do.
I think it's appropriate. I mean, I think we'll talk about that after this week.
Right.
Because I don't think they're going to make a trade at this point. They're probably going to wait until after this week, see how they do, and then they're going to have the bye week. But yeah, that's obviously going to be a talking point before the trade deadline.
Right. Yeah. Yes,
can't
Brian,
find it, guys.
it
Who,
was. That's
just
what was funny. The yellow brick road was no, but Kansas is where Dorothy was from initially.
Who tweeted it out, guys? The video, just so I could find it. I do want to show the chat for people that haven't seen it. So who tweeted out the?
Look on Giants YouTube channel. Don't know the timestamp when the question's asked.
I'm on Twitter. Does anybody know who tweeted it out? If not, I'll go to the YouTube, Donovan.
Lucis spit some bars. I got no bars. I'd have to think of some. I'm not a freestyler. But it is what it is.
I'll go to the Giants YouTube channel while I'm waiting for the chat, though.
Well, let's hope not, amazing guys. They could all fall apart. Let's hope not. I don't think it will. I think the leadership of this team is way too good. And I think that Jerry spending, whatever he spent, $200 million on the defense, just kind of was putting a Band-Aid on a whooping gash. A gash that needed stitches. He put a Band-Aid on it. It slowed down the bleeding for a second, and then that was the end of it. I think with this coaching regime in front office, I think that the Giants are going in the right direction. I don't think that we're going to go backwards. I think these guys are good and they have the correct leadership. So I think we'll be fine.
Just looking here, still looking.
McAdoo was trash.
I don't see it, guys, but I'm sure it's there. But I'll keep looking if somebody gives me an actual name if somebody did it.
Marjorie says if we get a wide receiver, it'll be announced after the Seattle game. Yeah, I don't think you're doing it before Seattle.
No, they're not doing it before Seattle. They'll do it. They'll do it on the bye week. They'll have 2 weeks to get them acclimated to the scheme, and they'll see where they stand. Right before the trade deadline. That's when I think they'll do it.
Yeah. Tyler, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Says, what do you guys want the G-men? Who do you want? Which guy do you want the G-men to get at wide receiver? Again, I think Jerry Jeudy and Chase Claypool are the
2 most popular names
favorites because they don't cost a lot of money. And, Jeudy was a first-round pick out of Alabama. He's got the connection with Daboll from Alabama. Chase Claypool's a big body receiver, and he had an incredible rookie season, kind of fell off. But then again, Roethlisberger fell off, and now, it's Kenny Pickett, it's Mitch Trubisky. I mean, Pittsburgh's not what it was. So bringing a guy like Chase Claypool to the Giants and having him with a guy like Daniel Jones, it could definitely, he could definitely be good here. He could definitely be effective. We could certainly use a guy with that size.
Yeah, that's if they're going to make a trade, it's going to be that. It's going to be a young guy in a rookie salary. It's not going to be DJ Moore. It's not going to be DK Metcalf. And Gold Sparrow asked, would there be a problem if they don't trade for a receiver? No. I mean, I as a fan, listen, if we're 7-1 and there's an opportunity and the right deal's there, I will definitely get on board with it, but I'm not going to scream if they don't trade for a wide receiver. Yeah. They're a team that's still thinking long-term. They're not looking to give up draft capital. They realize that this is not just about this year. So no, I'm not going to flip out. They're going to make do with what they got. That's getting Kenny Golladay back. That's getting Wando Robinson more experienced in the offense. That's getting Darius Slayton, get him to keep going. Saquon Barkley, they'll work with their weapons that they have if they decide not to do that. But I'd like it if the right deal was there and they could get it for a reasonable price.
Yep, I agree. John, my friend, thank you for the super chat. So stand up, family. Thomas has more touchdowns than Toney.
He's got 8 total points. He caught a 2-point conversion and a touchdown. So, yeah.
That he does. Odell, the best. Thank you, my friend. You guys think Victor Cruz still got it? No.
Yeah.
Victor Cruz is done. I loved Victor Cruz, but he's done. He's on Instagram, living his life, doing his thing, hanging out with his family, enjoying life. Don't blame him.
Victor Cruz has been done. He was in London, watching the game with Giants fans. He's been done, but love Victor Cruz, but no, he's done. No chance there.
Yeah. I saw somebody say Chase Claypool would be terrible.
Here's Chio Houston, one of the Eagles trolls that pops in every now and again. He says, last year, y'all were telling me how nice Toney was. I don't think I ever overhyped Kadarius Toney. I mean, I was excited for his potential, but the guy was always hurt. The guy never lived up to it. Matter of fact, Chio, before the year started, we said at the top of the stream, maybe you just popped in. I told Giants fan he was the most overrated player on the team before we took one snap this year.
Yep. That he did.
That's what I said.
He did. I mean, I can't tell you how many bad takes Eagle fans have had. Like Jordan Howard's a top 5 back in the league. Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember.
Remember that one? That wasn't good. So, Supreme says, I think Cruz works for Giants media.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Yeah, when Tony was drafted, of course.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's what it is. I love when people go back 2 years, though. I always think to myself, I'm like, you have nothing else to do with yourself. Let me go back 2 years and find this take. Oh, look at that. You sift through.
That's my favorite thing when people say you were wrong about this, you were wrong. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's not like we're coming on here and saying we're Nostradamus, that we're the smartest guys in the room. We're just
Right.
fans, just like everybody else. We share our opinions. Sometimes we're going to be wrong. Sometimes we're going to be right.
I guess my whole thing is I think somehow people get satisfaction of other people being wrong.
I think that's a lot to do with it. I'm not saying everybody that's like that, that's the reasoning, but I think that has a lot to do with it.
It has a lot to do with just they're insecure, so they're usually wrong.
They get satisfaction out
they
of
get satisfaction of other people being wrong.
People. Yeah.
They're especially the ones that don't have the cojones to put their own opinion out there. It's easy to come on and go, "Oh, you were wrong about that." It's easy, but I've never understood why people get such a kick out of it. Like I don't understand I don't know what that is supposed to accomplish.
Gio, we're relaxed. We're just having fun with you, man.
Right.
We're just having fun.
Yeah, I think you're the one that needs to relax. Tyler, thank you, my friend. He says, "Who are we going to resign?" I'd imagine
that. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, Tyler, at the end of the year, the Giants are going to have a lot of questions as to. There's going to be a lot of players, and all of them are obviously Dave Gettleman guys, right? They're not Shane guys. And Shane probably, when he took this job, Tyler, didn't think he was going to have as many of these questions that he was going to have to deal with based off the way these guys are playing. Obviously, I'll say this. I think it's clear. Obviously, Andrew Thomas, that goes without saying. They're probably going to extend him. The first chance they get at the end of the year. He's a long-term piece. He's a left tackle. Dexter Lawrence is a guy they clearly think very highly of. They gave him the 5th-year extension before the year started. Wink Martindale has said nothing but incredible things. I think he's gone as far to say that he's like the most talented interior defensive lineman he's ever coached. So the Giants obviously think very highly about him. So I would identify those two players in particular as players that I'm almost positive are going to be guys that get extensions and guys that they're going to look at as long-term pieces. Then the question becomes Barkley and Jones. Those are the two most obvious guys because they're both free agents. They both are a big core of this team right now. Neither one of them was drafted by Joe Shane. And we'll see. That's going to continue to be my answer. We still have 10 more games to analyze these guys, say that they, that whether or not they can stay on the football field. But obviously right now, both of them are making a very strong case to come back with this football team. It's going to come down to where we finish, how they play throughout the rest of the year, and if they could stay healthy. But if they stay healthy and we make the playoffs, I think both are coming back. It's just a matter of what the contract is going to be, how long the commitment's going to be. And I think, and then you guys got guys like Julian Love too. I mean, they got a lot of question marks, man, because a lot of guys are playing really well right now. And
it's a good problem to have.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have. Where am I? Nelson, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. He says Tom Brady can't use the Giants blueprint tonight. Yeah, they lost again. That's insane.
Yeah, the Bucs.
5.
The Bucs are.
I think Tom Brady is mortal.
The NFC South is a mess.
It's disgusting.
The Falcons may win that division.
That's a horrible division.
That's a horrible division.
That is the new NFC East.
I mean, you got the Panthers who are trash.
Horrible.
You got the Falcons who are overachieving, but they're still not very good. The Saints, maybe the Saints win that division. They're 2-5, but they could win it.
Wouldn't it be funny if they were like 7-10 to win the division and they ended up with like the 20th pick and the Eagles get that pick?
That'd be good.
Because that would be good.
I didn't even think about that. Hopefully the Saints do.
Yeah, hopefully that division, they win it by default. They get in the playoffs. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That happens. You really know things are turning around for the Giants if that happens.
That'd be great.
I wouldn't have any objections to the Saints winning the division. Go Saints.
Let's go Saints.
Geaux. Go Saints. Michael, thank you, my friend. They have a Galladay video. And for the first time, he seems like he wants to be here. Think he's finally reading the room. Tony will be fine, and we will too. Yeah, Michael, we talked about it earlier that I think that Kenny Galladay could have his aha moment. Like when Kadarius Toney gets traded, he can look himself in the mirror and go, listen, man, I got to get healthy and I got to start concentrating. I got to give my all. I got to bust my ass. I've never been part of a 10-win team. I want to come back here. I want to contribute. These guys are killing themselves out there every week for this coach. I just saw this guy go away because he wasn't producing because he's always hurt. He's like, I'm hoping that we get the receiver that we signed from Detroit, the guy that led the NFL in touchdowns, the guy that had 1,000-yard seasons in Detroit. If we can get that guy healthy and ready to go for the divisional, when we start playing all these division games, it's going to be a huge boost for our offense. So we got to hope that he does figure it out, that he does stay healthy, and that he can become the guy we paid $72 million for.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully. He doesn't even need to become that. Just become a guy that could help this football team.
Right. In the red zone, especially when you're a big dude, just hang on to the ball. Like I said, just concentrate on your job. The rest will take care of itself. Just do what they ask you to do. Don't worry about what Daniel Jones is doing. Don't worry about how many snaps you're getting. Don't worry about, because remember at the beginning of the year, he was like, I should be playing regardless. Yeah. And it's obvious his attitude changed because I think he sees from the sideline, wow, this team is really good. This isn't last year's coaching regime. This isn't the same team. This is way different. It's understandable. Listen, I don't excuse it because they make millions of dollars to be professional athletes. But at the end of the day, they are human. So when you're on a lousy team and you go to work every day knowing you're going to lose, your attitude's kind of going to suck. You're a professional, so you should suck it up and just go out there and bust your ass.
But it's different.
It's different.
It's definitely different, of course.
So I think that at the beginning of the year, maybe he wasn't really a believer. And now that he sees what's happening and that they're winning without him and that their first round pick just got traded because he wasn't fitting in, maybe he's like, I just gotta play my game. I gotta do what I gotta do to help this team win. I want to win. So good for him.
I want to answer. Lookman asked, "What does a conditional third round pick mean?" Yeah, Lookman. When I first saw the trade, that's what I saw too. I saw the word conditional. I didn't see the word compensation pick.
It's compensation, though.
But then I later read it on other sites that it's a comp pick. So it's a third round pick, but it's a comp pick. So what a comp pick is it's going to be after the third round, but before the fourth round. It's after the traditional third round of the first 96 picks, 32 picks in each round. Then they have comp picks. So it's going to fall between probably like 100 and 105. That 100 to 105 overall, plus a 6th round pick. That's what we got for Kadarius Toney.
Really, really early 4th round pick is what it ends up being.
Yeah, essentially, it's a very early 4th round pick.
Pre-4th round pick, post-3rd round pick. But yeah, it's around a top 100 pick. Age 50, thank you, my friend. I'd rather have Darius Slayton, who takes a pay cut and is willing to learn, than a guy who doesn't want to contribute, Kadarius Toney. And it looks like Slayton is getting his confidence back. Confidence is big.
Yeah, listen, man. Slayton, I'm happy for him. I think he's at least a contributor, which is all we could hope for right now from this wide receiving core. And he's making some plays. He caught a touchdown this week. He had a good game the week before. So good for him, man. I'm glad. And hopefully he strikes it big next year in free agency.
Yep. Sergeant Cag, thank you, my friend. He says, see YouTubers live now. No respect for Giants again. We don't want to be respected.
Let him disrespect us.
Let him.
I did a power rankings video for the first time ever. So a couple of people in my chat, and I think he's got a really good channel, by the way, the franchise guy. I've watched it from here and there. He does very good film breakdowns. He's very, very smart guy. He's got like 70,000 subs. He deserves all of them. Very good YouTuber. He's more of a broad NFL guy, and he does a weekly power rankings, which I had no idea. And they were like, check out where he had the Giants. He had the Giants at 14. 14. Like the lack of respect.
And again, I like that because then we don't believe our own hype. We're not getting too hyped up about ourselves and believing it because as soon as the team believes their hype, no good. Keep doubting them. They've always fed off that. Keep doubting them. Keep overlooking them. Keep thinking they're no good and keep losing to them. We have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Tyler, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, my man. He says, we win the division and trade for a star wide receiver for a 1st round pick. I don't think we're giving up a 1st round pick for anybody, to be honest. I think Joe Shane wants to build a team the way he wants to build it, unless you can get a guy like A.J. Brown. Because the Eagles traded the 18th pick for that. So if the Giants made the playoffs and they were picking 23rd, I don't know who they could get in essence for a trade, but if you could get a difference maker like that, maybe consider it. But the Giants don't really have cap space to pay a big-time wide receiver. So I think it'd be difficult. I think you're just better off paying a wide receiver on a rookie deal and putting that money into Jones and Barkley if that's what you want to do.
I think next year we're going to draft a receiver in the first round.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the draft's going to look like in terms of where we're going to be picking and what prospects are going to be available, but I think we're taking an early wide receiver next year. And we may sign a receiver too, but I don't think it'll be a high-end free agent wide receiver. Maybe like a second-tier guy, but I could see us doing that. I don't think we're going to trade for one unless, like you said, like a superstar becomes available.
Right.
Then that's possible, like what the Bills did for Diggs, something like that. But I think I'm leaning towards they're going to draft a receiver in the first round.
I agree. Campbell says only Philly fans be coming into other streams talking. You know why they're doing that? They're scared.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, Camel? I'm going to tell you this right now. And they have every right to be confident. They're 6-0. They were the favorites coming into the year. They looked very good this year. They have every right to be confident. Congratulations on your great start, guys. But the fact that Eagles fans are starting to come into Giants streams means that we're relevant. They wouldn't be here if the Giants were 1-6.
Exactly.
They wouldn't be here if the Giants were 2-5. They're here because the Giants are 6-1.
So I said, they know. They're scared.
Yeah, maybe it's not scared, but they're at least interested.
Chris.
They realize we're relevant.
Chris, we beat them last year. It was one of the worst Giants teams in the history of our franchise. And our franchise is almost 100 years old. And we still beat their ass.
Yeah.
We beat them 13-7. And that's a team that made the playoffs last year. They still lost to us. We won 4 games.
I'm gonna be honest with the Eagles. I'm a little bit worried in terms of their wide receiving core because we know that we're not the strongest in terms of our corners right now, even though Fabio Moro's played really good, but we haven't gone up against like a high-end wide receiver core yet. But I'm going to tell you what, if we could do to the Eagles what we did last year, keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket and force him to be a thrower, we're going to beat the Eagles.
Yep.
I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, but if we're able to do that, we're going to beat the Eagles.
I agree. And yeah, I'm not taking anything away from the Eagles. I picked the Eagles to win the division before the year started. So I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But this Giants team is built different. And I'll be honest with you. At the end of the day, I think that Coach Daboll can now coach Nick Sirianni. And I don't think there's any question about that. So I'll put our coaches up against yours. And at the end of the day, it's execution that wins. Talent certainly goes a long way in winning. But let's face it, man, Giants are winning because of execution. And they figure it out. They make adjustments. This isn't the same Giants team that you've seen for the last 5 years. And listen, since Daniel Jones has gotten here, the Eagles haven't owned the Giants at all. They haven't. And again, we lost the game because Evan Ingram dropped the pass. We win the division in 2020 if he catches that thing. So, you haven't owned anything. I think we're 2-2 in the last 4 games against Philadelphia.
I'm looking forward to getting our shot at the Eagles. But we'll worry about that when we get there.
Yeah, well, it's a long ways away, but let that build up. We'll see what I
got to say to you guys. We got the shades ready.
We got the shades.
We're coming.
Mine are in my car, but I'll have them ready for Sunday. John, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. He says, the so-called lack of respect doesn't bother me one bit. This team is rebuilding and winning at the same time. Best of all worlds. Yeah, John, we're competing for playoffs, and yeah, we're just getting started. That's the amazing thing.
John, we're building something, and this is going to be here for a long time.
Yeah,
I really believe that. I believe the brain trust right now that's with this New York Giants football team between Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. So we're building something. We're building something for long-term success.
Yep, I agree. That's what's so encouraging.
The scary thing about this team right now, Bad Dog, is we're 6-1. We've beaten 3 I'm not going to say very good, but 3 quality teams. The Titans are a quality team. They're 4-2. The Packers are at least somewhat quality.
The Ravens are 5-3.
The Ravens are very good. The Ravens are a top 6 or 7 team in the league. We've beaten all 3 of those teams. We're 6-1, and we're not even close to being as good as we're going to be this year. We're not even close to being as good as we're going to be this year. And things are going to get much better in the upcoming years as this team starts to draft and bring in their guys, and this team continues to improve. But this team, I'm not saying we're going to win 6 out of every 7 games we play, because that's just not
feasible, right?
But in terms of the quality of play, I expect it to get better over the course of the year. I expect the offensive line to just continue to do what they've been doing, getting better and better week over week.
Hopefully, get healthy.
Yeah, exactly. We need to be healthy, but I expect Jones to get better and better each and every week as he gets more acclimated to this offense, as he starts to get hopefully Kenny Golladay back in the lineup, Wan'Dale Robinson, and him get more chemistry together. So this Giants team is going to be better by the time we play the Eagles than we are right now. I'm not just talking about the Eagles, but just later in the year. So that's the most encouraging thing. Like, I thought we were going to start off slow and the team would get progressively better over the course of the year. Yet we're still 6-1. We're still finding ways to win football games.
Yep.
You got to be encouraged if you're a Giant fan.
Absolutely. Dominic, thank you, my friend. Appreciates his good riddance. Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney indeed. KP. Big Moo. Thank you, my friend. He says, appreciate you guys. The work you put in is great. I think that's what he meant to say.
Thank you, Mr.
We
Moo.
appreciate that very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Mr.
it very much. Yamaka Sam says, Jones will have a bad game eventually, just like every other quarterback. He just needs to be consistent.
It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Every
But
quarterback
he's
has
been
bad games.
consistent. He's been very consistent this year.
His last 5 games, he's been very good.
Yeah. Exactly. He's got the highest QBR over the last, 4 games? 3 games?
I mean, here's what I'm going to say, Baddog. Look around the league, and I recognize there's not a lot of good quarterbacks this year in the NFL, but look around the league and tell me, interchange their teams. If we had this quarterback from so-and-so team, do we have a better record? And if Jones goes to that team, do they have a better record? Most of the time, Jones is playing really good, Baddog. I don't think there's a whole lot of quarterbacks that would be here and would have a better record than we currently do. And I can tell you this, a lot of teams he would go to would have a better record than they currently do. Jones is playing well this year.
Listen, I said it on the round table to Brunson. I said, look, if Daniel Jones is on Philadelphia, are they 6-0? He said, no way. I said, you're full of shit, pretty much. I said, you're lying to me. There's no way you're not. I said, the Giants are, at the time, I think we were 5-1. I said, we're 5-1. We've played a tougher schedule than you, and we don't have near the talent on offense. Not even close.
Daniel Jones is the highest. Daniel Jones is the highest QBR in football since week 4.
Right.
The highest QBR in football since week 4.
Yep, exactly. So I'm like, how do you figure? And Jalen Hurts would not be 6-1 with the Giants. He wouldn't be. I guarantee it. Which reminds me, I want to bring up to you the thing that I put on Twitter that Jalen Hurts, and the only reason I even brought this up, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is.
I'm going to be fair about what you put up. Okay. Jalen Hurts played 1 less game.
Yeah, I said that.
He's out of bye. So I will factor that in. But Jalen Hurts also has 2 wide receivers that are we don't have a receiver near their second best receiver, let alone their first. Right. And their offensive line is much better than ours.
Or their tight end.
And their tight end. And Hurts is in the second year in the same offense. But go ahead.
No, so yeah, I'm sitting there going, how the hell is this guy second in the MVP? He's thrown 6 touchdowns in 6 games.
Yeah.
And everybody else like, oh, Daniel Jones only throwing 6 touchdowns. I mean, I don't understand it. And then they're like, well, then they have to compare. Then you have to compare. Oh, well, Hurts rushes for 6 touchdowns. What the hell's the difference? You telling me Jones only throws for 6 touchdowns, but Jalen Hurts rushes for 6 touchdowns? Daniel Jones rushed for 3 touchdowns, and he's averaging 6 yards a carry. Jalen Hurts is averaging under 4.
Listen, Hurts is playing very well. Hurts is in as good of a situation as a quarterback could be in, but I'm not going to take anything away from him. He's playing very well.
He is not MVP.
He should not be an MVP talk.
But that was my point. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts wasn't playing bad. My point is, where the hell is Daniel Jones? That was the whole point of that. Where is Daniel Jones's praise when his numbers are very similar to Jalen Hurts? Where is Daniel Jones's flowers, if you will? Where the hell are they? How come he gets no respect? How come he's a bum? And Jalen Hurts is considered an MVP, but their numbers are very similar. And Daniel Jones doesn't have nearly the guys around him. Not even close.
To me, the clear MVP is either Mahomes or Josh Allen.
Those
are the guys.
Touchdowns. Definitely. Josh Allen has like 21 touchdowns.
Yeah, and Mahomes has 20.
Right.
Those are the MVPs.
Yes.
Hurts is not in that class.
But my point was not even that Jalen Hurts isn't an MVP candidate. My point was, how come Daniel Jones gets no accolades?
Yeah.
How could he be that much worse than Jalen Hurts when their numbers are almost the same? And it's not like Daniel Jones is putting up these numbers and the Giants are 1-6. They're 6-1, and he has 5 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That was my whole point. I saw some of the comments and people are getting all pissed off. I'm like, you're missing the point. You're missing the entire. It doesn't surprise me. The Eagles fans, they all took that personal. I don't know why you would take it personal. I didn't say anything out of the ordinary. I didn't sit there and go, Jalen Hurts sucks. Jalen Hurts is trash. All I said was, why? I said, look at all I did was compare the numbers. I said, where is Daniel Jones's MVP article? That was it. I didn't say Jalen Hurts doesn't deserve the article.
Yeah.
I just said, where's Daniel Jones's? That was it. Where's the credit for our quarterback who's playing with way lesser talent, has one more loss, but again, their numbers are very similar. And people are like, well, he's got all those comebacks because the Eagles don't have to win in the fourth. Well, that ain't my fault. Is Buffalo not blowing everybody the hell out of the water? Why does Josh Allen have 21 touchdowns then?
Yeah.
I just get sick and tired of the double standards.
Yeah.
We don't get credit for anything, ever.
It's true.
You don't hear anything about Saquon Barkley. Where the hell's his MVP votes?
Yeah, and I get it. The Eagles fans are saying Saquon Barkley should get an MVP article. Well, how about AJ Brown? How about AJ Brown then? Because since he's gotten there, Jalen Hurts looks like a much better quarterback.
Right.
Maybe AJ Brown should be getting MVP articles.
Maybe he should. That's my point. That was my whole point. I don't know why Daniel Jones isn't getting credit. I don't know how quarterbacks can be very similar, but one is horrible and the other one's an MVP.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. JL, thank you, my friend. He says, I just got tickets to the game Sunday. Can't wait. Awesome. Hopefully they kick some ass for you, my friend.
Enjoy the game, JL, man. Enjoy the game, buddy.
Definitely. Big Moo, thank you, my friend. He says, my super chat is finally working again. Chris, I've listened to you for 8 hours today. If I listened to my ex for that long, I'd still be married. Yeah, Chris been busy. He did the post game. He did the video on Tony. Then he did the live stream with Mike Too Nice. Then he did the live stream with me.
Busy day today.
Trainer, and now we're doing this.
Yeah.
He'll get a well-deserved night's sleep tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe not. It's after midnight, so we'll wrap it up here pretty soon. Pencil Man, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. This is a great show as always. Thank you. And we don't go shopping for a wide receiver. How many draft picks will we have? 8?
Let me look. I'm gonna look real quick because I have that same question myself. 2023 draft picks, Giants. Let me see. Because obviously we just added 2. Right. We're gonna have 2 compensation picks as well, which is not factored in yet.
Right. While he's doing that, hit that like button, guys and girls. We're up to 531, which is kick ass. Let's get 600.
All right. So right now the Giants have.
Amazing. I said 11.
They have a first, a second, the third they traded for today, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth they traded for today, a seventh, and then a seventh for the Baltimore Ravens, which is 9 picks. But then, yes, they're going to have 2 compensation picks on top of that, one of which is going to be a 5th-round compensation pick and a 7th-round compensation pick. So they're going to have 11 total picks right now. And who knows, maybe they add or maybe they trade some of them. But right now they're going to have 11 picks.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And again, that's what you want to do when you're a new GM is you want to, especially your first year where you have your own scouts going and looking at these guys. You want to really rebuild to the draft. When you're talking about a rebuild, that's the way you do it. You don't go out and spend $72 million on Kenny Golladay. You go and you draft players that fit your system. You bring in all new guys. So, again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Normally we're talking about the draft because we're 1-6. We still talk about. I think it's just a force of habit with us. Is just talking about the draft. But
I think it's just natural when you acquire picks in a trade. You're like,
yeah. But I'm just saying, like we've talking about this for a while now, pretty much all year anyway. And I think it's just habit. But I also think it's because we know, being honest with ourselves, even though we're 6-1, that there's a lot of holes that need to be filled here. We know we need linebacking help. We know we need cornerback help. We definitely know we need wide receiver help and interior line help.
That's the scariest thing. We're 6-1 with these holes.
That's what I'm saying. And no cap space to do anything. Yeah. So think about when Shane has maneuverability within the cap, when he can go out and get one of these guys, I'm not going to say, not AJ Brown, but a guy like that caliber wide receiver, that type of wide receiver, that number 1 pick that you can give $20 million to, and you have 11 draft picks. The future is bright for the Giants. The fact that they've been able to get 6-1 and, pretty much unless they have a big collapse, should get into the postseason because there's an extra spot for, there's no reason to think we can't.
Yeah.
But future is very bright. Very bright for the Giants.
For
I'm
sure.
happy about that. I mean, if we are 7-10, the future might have been very bright, depending, because Chris Nye said we thought we'd start off slow and get hot as they got used to everything, and then we're like, all right, we're building for the future. But 6-1,
No,
amazing.
no way. I thought I had us at, what did I have us at? I had us starting 2
I
and
don't know, it's
4.
3-4 at this point. I had us losing. To
Yeah, I had us
Tennessee.
3 and 4 also.
I had us losing to Tennessee, Dallas, Baltimore.
I had us
Green
at
Bay.
5 and 5 after 10, and then 7 and 10 overall. So I had us going.
I think I had us at 7-6, and then I had us losing the last 4 games of the year. I think that's the way I predicted the season. But hopefully, after 13 games, we're like 10-3. That'd be freaking amazing.
Be nice.
Hopefully, after the next 3 weeks, we're 9-1. I am looking for another shot at Dallas, though. That is for sure. Big Moose says can't afford. No, we can't afford DJ Moore. It's just too much.
No, not happening.
Too much. This guy says Aaron Judge just unfollowed the Yankees. I don't really read too much into any of that stuff.
He may be. I mean, who knows? I don't. He may be using that as leverage, right, to try to drive up the price on the Yankees. So his agent may have told him to do that for all we know, right?
Who knows?
Listen,
I'm not going to get into the Aaron Judge. If the Yankees if Aaron Judge doesn't come back here, I'm not going to be heartbroken. The Yankees are going to make the guy a big offer. If he goes out west, which is where I think he's going to go anyway, and they want to give him 8 years, $400 million, whatever the hell it is, maybe not that much, but 8 years, $320 million. They want to give him $40 million a year until he's 40. Yankees will go out and get somebody else. Yankees will sign Carlos Correa, Xander Bogaerts. They'll get something else.
I see people in the chat talking about the best Eagles quarterback of all time. I didn't get to see Cunningham in his prime. I saw Cunningham, but I didn't get to see him at his best. I got to see McNabb. McNabb was very good. McNabb was very good.
McNabb was another guy. McNabb didn't have shit on that team to throw to.
But he did benefit from Andy Reid. Andy Reid's an incredible play caller, but yes, he never had elite wide receivers. He had Todd.
He had Westbrook and LaShawn McCoy. He had good running backs.
Yeah. So
Freddie Mitchell, freaking James Thrash, Todd Pinkston.
I honestly think McNabb should probably be in the Hall of Fame. He was very good, McNabb. He was a top 5 quarterback for about 6-7 years. Like he was very good.
He was
an extended period of time. He was very good.
Yeah, he probably was their best. But Cunningham was one of my favorite players, even though he played for the Eagles. I obviously loved him a lot more when he went to the Vikings. But yeah,
he had T.O. Slink, but it was for like a very short period of time. But yes, he did.
Yeah, the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
And that was it. Norm Van Brocklin. I mean, yeah. Weren't we just talking about him? Wasn't he the guy that had the record for yards? 554
in a single game. Yeah.
Because Joe Burrow had like 350 at the half.
Yeah. Yeah. I see everybody say, yeah, he had T.O., but for like 1 year, I think it was. It wasn't like the majority of his career, he didn't have a number one.
Right. Yeah. Shady McCoy was, God, the Eagles always had these little running backs that killed us. Always.
Oh, Brian Westbrook, McCoy, they had another one too.
Darren Sproles.
Oh, God, Darren
Sproles was the other one. All those little squirts.
Hey, Doc.
All those guys that were like 5'7".
Boston Scott. Hate him.
Yeah, Boston Scott sucks, though. Those other guys are good.
But
Boston Scott just good against us.
He doesn't suck when he plays us.
No. That's for sure. Big Moo, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Says 900 people here after midnight. The Kadarius Toney going away party. Yes, it is. It definitely is. Yes, remember the push-ups in the driveway? Yeah, I do remember T.O. working out in the driveway. T.O. was jacked. Oh, because I can remember saying if he scored a certain amount of touchdowns, Andy Reid would have to wear one of those Under Armour shirts that T.O. wore. Remember that? Really tight Under Armour shirts back in the day. I was like, thank God he didn't get that many touchdowns. Nobody wanted to see Andy Reid in that, but amazing guy says, I hate those scores except for our own in Wandale.
Hopefully he keeps it going, man. I love one though.
Hopefully. Brian says, haha, it's 8 a.m. here. Speak for yourself. God,
where's Brian from?
I forgot where Brian is, but Oman.
Okay.
I think he said, I think that's where he is. So I could be wrong about that. Nation's back in the house. Nation's like married, has kids now. No, I'm just kidding. But he's been around. Like he was so young when he probably graduated. Like I say it all the time. We had KP, Brandon Rogers, Ethan Cushman. Like they were all in high school. They're probably all graduated by now.
Nations is awesome. Love Nations.
Who's the other guy? Chris Senior. We haven't seen him in a while.
Chris
But same thing.
Yes.
Probably the same thing.
Cushman's been in my streams recently.
Yeah, same thing. He tweeted me or DM'd me on Twitter the other day. So
yeah.
But it's just funny. Like I said, when we started this show, because it was 5 years ago, any kids that were in high school, they graduated now.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And what did he ask, by the way? What did Nations ask? I missed it.
Oh, where'd I go?
He asked something.
He said, if you get a first round offer for Jones right now, are you trading him or would you not trade him?
We're not going to get a first round offer for Jones. So, but I mean, no, at this point, no, I wouldn't trade Jones. I'd play out the year. And I mean, listen, in the hypothetical world, I guess it depends on how Joe Shane feels about it. But if Joe Shane believes in Daniel Jones, you're not going to trade him.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not going to happen. So
no.
Nobody's going to be giving up first round picks.
No. Somebody said I haven't seen my man Tuto all day. No, where's Tuto at?
Tuto's sleeping in Italy.
I guess so. Tyler, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Do you guys think we're going to win the division? Honestly,
no. I'm going to say no.
I was going to say no. I don't. If we beat Philadelphia, depending on where we are after that first game against Philadelphia, then I'll have a better. But I don't think we're as good as them. I think we can beat them.
Listen, Tyler. I'm right now, and I'm taking it week by week.
I think we can win the division.
If we get to 9-1, which means we win this week against Jacksonville, not Jacksonville, rather Seattle. Yeah. I think we will be 9-1. So if we beat Seattle this week and we get to 9-1, we have a chance to win the division. We have 5 divisional games: 2 against Washington, 2 against the Eagles, 1 against the Cowboys. You're staring an opportunity in the face. There's an opportunity. Yep. So if we get to 9-1. I at least think there's a chance.
I agree.
But right now, let's get to 9-1 first.
That's right. Christopher, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. How long do you think it takes us to get good weapons? A couple of years.
It's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
Listen, it could happen by next year, actually. I mean, Wandell, I think, is going to be a good weapon.
Yeah.
Barkley's already a great weapon. You had one really good wide receiver next year. Suddenly we have pretty good weapons.
Yeah.
You pair that with Jones's legs, and you got a pretty talented offense.
Yeah. Here's a good one. He says, Cheers says, last time y'all won, I was in middle school. Laugh emojis. When you finally won your first Super Bowl, I was freaking 41 years old. That's pathetic. That's pathetic. I was in my 40s by the time you won your first Super Bowl after I'd already seen us win 4. That's sad.
That is sad.
You win one damn Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you think you can step up to the big boys in this division? You think you're on the Cowboys level? You think you're on Washington's level? Washington ain't won anything in 30 years. They're still better than you historically.
It's true.
So button your lip. Enjoy your first 6 games. The Eagle fans are already acting like they won the Super Bowl. They're already acting like they won. But it is what it is. I expect nothing less. You know they jumped on the bandwagon after. I can't tell you, Chris, the amount of Eagle content creators that jumped on board after they won the Super Bowl. Oh, it's unbelievable because I was here before they won the Super Bowl, and I know how many.
You're going to see it with Giants content creators too. You watch when we get good.
Yeah,
everybody's going to be Giants content creators.
Giants content creators have been growing anyway.
They have.
But Eagle, they were nowhere to be found. There was like 4 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was like 4.
Now there's 4 million.
Right. Now they're all making. Joey Shakes was here.
Yeah.
I remember that. Nitro Freak was here.
Philly 500 was probably here, right?
Philly 500 was brand new. He started in 2017.
Okay.
Brunson had his channel, but really didn't start making content until the end of 2017. Philly Mike, that guy didn't start making regular content till after they won the Super Bowl. Who the hell is the other guy? Desert Eagle was here before they won a Super Bowl. But there's a lot of
Nitro Freak. He was here.
He was here beforehand. Yes, Nitro Freak's been around a long time. Nitro Freak was a kid when he started his channel back in 2009, 2010, long time ago. Donnie Rose, thank you for the super chat. He says, Baddog, what's good? Check your mentions on Twitter. I sent you our New York Giants anthem, and unlike Kadarius Toney, it's fire. Listen, please, and listen and share, please. Oh, by the way, Stan, I can't share from my thing here, but I will definitely give it a listen. Donnie Rose, I'll throw it on my computer, and then we can do it. We can do it the next time. But I'll definitely give it a shot, without a doubt. And I'm glad that it's not like tears.
Nobody's saying they weren't fans. Of course, they were Eagles fans before. It's just a lot easier to talk about your team when you're winning.
Correct.
That's all. Correct.
I want the Eagles to win 22 games in 5 years, and I want to see how many of their content creators stay around. That's what I would like to see.
I just want to see them only win 22 games in 6 years. That would bring me great joy.
It would be pretty awesome. Can't lie about that. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. You know what? F Philly coming for that ass. They know it. That's why they're hanging out in here tonight. I'm like, oh, we're gonna go troll Giants. You picked the wrong people, because you just picked the wrong people. You picked the wrong guy, because even when the Giants were terrible, I whooped the hell out of all the Eagles content creators' ass with the trash talk. It's what I do. It's what I grew from. But it's okay. Like I said, you won one Super Bowl. It was 5 years ago already.
You know who I think is a perfect representative of Eagles fans?
Who?
EDP.
Yeah. I forgot all about him.
He's when I think about Eagles fans, he should be the face of your franchise.
He is.
Just get him a couple of cupcakes.
All the Eagle content creators never, they couldn't add up to him in views or weight, but that's a different story. I wonder what happened to that dude.
I don't know what happened to that dude.
I don't know either. Brian, thank you for the super chat. He says, I live in Oman. I was right, but I am American. That I know. Yeah, I remember you saying that, but that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. What's that say? Authentic would be a great negative Eagle fan. I don't know what that means.
He's a Giant fan, though. I don't get it.
Yes, he is now. No doubt about that. Mike says Philly, hateful and losing, hateful and winning. Well, if I lived in Philadelphia, I mean, I wouldn't like my life either, probably. I'd be mad all the time, too. Listen, man, you would think they'd be happy, but they're still not, right? I mean, the Phillies won a championship in 2008. That was the first time that they'd won anything since 83 in that lousy city. Flyers ain't won in forever. The Eagles won one Super Bowl in their entire history. Sixers continue to underachieve, as is their norm. So, yeah, I mean,
I will say, Baddog, I don't know if you've seen it. I'll give Philadelphia credit for one thing. A couple of things. Great cheesesteaks. They have my favorite sitcom of all time, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I absolutely love. I think it's hysterical. So I'll give you credit for that. But I will always make fun of Philadelphia for having a fictitious movie character as their biggest statue in their city.
And that fictitious character is a New Yorker.
You don't see.
Are you talking about Doug Peterson? He's a fictitious character too, isn't he?
You don't have when you come to New York, you don't see statues of Peter Venkman from the Ghostbusters.
That's true.
But they got Rocky, right?
I guess so. I guess Rocky. Why not? Big move, thank you, my friend. Baddog better buy another bottle of scotch. Yeah, I've drank more scotch this year than I did all last year. Look at this. It is. That's a good year. We're not even close to done. I'm like halfway done with this.
I got to get the scotch too, man.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. But listen, guys, we're going to get out of here. It's almost 12:30. I know both of us got to work. I'm sure a lot of you guys and girls do too. It's always fun talking shit with Philadelphia fans, though, man. I always enjoy that. It's part of being in the NFC East. I love the trash talk. I enjoy it very much. Listen, the fact of the matter is the Eagles are a very good team. I don't deny this. Like I said, I picked them to win the division. The Cowboys are a very good team. I don't give a shit what anybody else says. We're a very good team. And Washington's starting to come on. This division is finally back to being the best division in football, which it should be because we're the best division in the history of football. And it is definitely a lot more fun when every team in this division is competitive. and the games mean so much more. They're that much more intense. So I look forward to the end of the year. Hopefully we are 9-1 when we start to face these guys, and definitely looking forward to the game against Dallas on Thanksgiving, hoping that, we can get some revenge on them. And then, of course, looking forward to the games against Philadelphia. Always do. But for once, feeling like this year we have a chance to actually, well, no, I felt like we could beat them last year. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made that bet with Philly 500. But I can't wait. I think it's going to be awesome. And December is going to be a lot of fun. I'm just glad that we know we're probably going to get to December and it's going to mean something, because normally at this time, these games don't mean anything for us except for draft position.
Yeah, I can't wait. And a lot of fun coming on here, having fun with you guys. Listen, I say it all the time, and since I've been on YouTube, I've gained a lot of respect for Eagles fans. That's the God's honest truth. I know they have a horrible reputation, and I still don't have the best, thought process about them. But I say it all the time. Since I've been on YouTube, I think I've realized that Eagles fans are a lot like Giants fans in the sense that they're passionate. They're always relatively respectful for us. Every once in a while, they come in and we throw jabs at one another. But
of course, that's part of the fun.
But it's just fun to have a little bickering back and forth again and be able to take jabs at one another and have a competitive football team. So, but thank you to everybody for being here. We appreciate all you guys. And I'm echoing, I hear it, but thank you to everybody for being here. We appreciate all you guys. Had so much fun tonight.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to be live on my channel, so come on by for the game this week.
Definitely, yes.
And hopefully we get another win. Big game this week against Seattle. Midday.
Huge game.
And I think we got a shot. I'm picking us to win, so we'll see. But
me too.
I think it's going to be a really good game. I can't wait.
20-16, Giants get it done. We move to 7-1 going into the bye. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe, ring the bell. More importantly, if you're new, like I said, go into the description. Subscribe to the Up Tainah Talkin Sports. We'll be live over there 4 o'clock, and do it again. Probably another nail biter, heart stopper, thriller, whatever the hell you want to call it. Every game's been like that for us, but we've been coming out on top. Let's hope we do it again. You guys and girls are the best in the business. We appreciate all the support. That includes you Eagle fans that stopped in and trolled the chat. Always a lot of fun. Appreciate it. But you did it. See, that's the thing. You guys did it respectfully. And I can respect that. That I can respect. Saying the Giants are trash, we own your part. I like that. So shout out to the couple Eagle fans in here. Philly Old Head and Chio, I think. What was his name?
Chio, yeah.
So shout out to those guys because it makes it fun. And like I said, you guys did it respectfully. You didn't call anybody any names. You just talking shit about the team. I respect it. I love it. And like I said, thank you guys for all your support. We really appreciate it. The Up Tainah Talkin Sports. Bad Diggity Dizzle. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. We gone. Peace.